I'd be rich.
Investment advisory services offered through Barber Financial Group, Inc., DBA Osawala Financial Group, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The views expressed represent the opinion of Osawala Financial Group. Information provided is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. OFG does not accept any liability for the use of the information discussed. Discuss with a qualified financial, legal, or tax professional prior to taking any action. Honest Conversations, Money Mind, Financial Control Scorecard, and One Best Financial Life are registered trademarks of United Capital Financial Advisors, LLC.
From the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building in the auto capital of the world, this is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR. This is the Detroit Lions countdown to kickoff on News Talk 760 WJR. Now from Lions Radio Central, here are Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
Well, once again, good afternoon to you. How you doing? Happy game day and all. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you in Lions Radio Central. And the countdown, please consider it underway to the Lions as they play host to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. The Lions, they are still clinging to postseason dreams in this magical time of year. Here's the deal. Right now, you've got the Arizona Cardinals. They are at 6-6. Meanwhile, you've got 5 teams, the Lions among them, at 5-7. So this is an important day as it applies to that. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, here's their deal. They can clinch the NFC North with a win over the Lions and a Vikings loss or tie the Honolulu Blue and Silver and the Vikings lose to Tampa Bay. That's just the way it goes. First piece of business here. For those of you tuning in, expecting to hear Michigan State basketball, it is on right now. As a matter of fact, I'll let you know. Sparty up 69-57, 12-15 left in that tilt over the Golden Grizzlies. And by the way, you can tune in and listen to it right now on our sister station, New Country 93.1. Mr. Sean, how are you, lad?
Tremendous, Steve. It's a pleasure. It's been a while since we've had one of these afternoon games, but nothing to get you fired up than a matchup against one of your in-division longtime rivals. Last week, it felt great to beat the Bears. Let's see if he can do the thing to the Pack this week. Indeed.
We'll see if the Lions, under interim head coach Darrell Bevell, who is now undefeated, by the way, can build on that. Sean, obviously, over recent time, we have seen this Lions team lose games they should have won. Conversely, they pull one out in Chicago a week ago when it was looking very, very poor early in the fourth quarter. They're down by 10.
Yeah, and it's crazy, Steve, the way that the schedule configures itself because, early in the season, they started with a game against the Bears, lost that game, of course, in dramatic fashion after having a nice lead. And then the next week, again, back-to-back, it was the Packers, and the Lions built that lead up and then watch the Packers. Steve, the thing that jumps out to that, in my mind, in that game is how easy the Packers made it look from about late second quarter on. It went from a game, as if you remember, where, the Lions were in control, they were leading, and then the Packers took the lead right before halftime and then just ran away and hid. That one made it look too easy. I think the Lions are feeling good about themselves, and maybe, just maybe, they can learn from some of those mistakes in week 2.
Well, they've got this formidable Packers offense going into Ford Field, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that the Lions are going to be a bit handicapped defensively. Maybe you haven't heard, but you will now. The Lions have placed fine defensive end Everson Griffin on the COVID list to help cope with Griffin's absence, as well as other depth issues. The Lions temporarily elevate these 3 players off the practice squad: defensive end Kareem Martin, offensive tackle Dan Skipper, and safety Bobby Price. Sean, to take it to another level here, the Lions also saying that the fine rookie cornerback Jeff Okudah, who is on a learning curve, there's no question about it, is in need of season-ending surgery on his groin. So, we are coming down the home stretch, and injuries are certainly a part of the game at the NFL level and everywhere else, for crying out loud. We'll see how the Lions react going into this important tilt against the Green Bay Packers.
My heart breaks for Jeff Okudah, Steve, because NFL life is difficult enough as it is for a cornerback. But you want to talk about a tough break for this young man. This was an offseason unlike any other offseason that we've ever seen. And hopefully, Steve, fingers crossed, unlike any offseason we'll ever see again. He didn't get the proper reps, the proper coaching, the proper in-person stuff, all of that stuff. And then he has to deal with this groin situation. So I still think the sky's the limit for this guy. I still think the people, using the B word to describe him, I have no other way to say this than you're out of your mind. Like, are you new to the National Football League? And Darius Slay is a perfect example, but wish that young man the best because I still believe there's a high ceiling for him.
Sean, people were using the B word for tight end TJ Hawkinson. Maybe they're not using that as often anymore because the kid's having a year.
Sure is. No doubt about it. And you know what, Steve? You saw it in the offseason. I'll never forget that first photo that I saw of him. He looked like a different human being. I mean, he was buffed. He was on the Steve Courtney workout plan times 10. It was Courtney and Jane Fonda working together to make the greatest workout plan ever, and my man buffed up big.
That's an analogy I wasn't planning on hearing today. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you. The countdown is underway. We've got more stuff for you, such as what else is going on with the Lions today.
We're 3 hours away from kickoff at Ford Field for a preview of today. It's Lions Today. Here's Nick Roddy.
The Lions and Packers are getting ready to square off for the 181st time in NFL history, and Green Bay leads the all-time series 100-73 with 7 ties. Detroit is about to kick off the second game in the Darrell Bevell era, sitting at 5-7, and looking up at the division-leading Packers in the NFC North, who are currently 9-3. The last time these two teams met was Week 2 in a 42-21 Packers victory. And Coach Bevell is preaching to his team to stay the course during the game and have fun.
That's the thing that we're trying to instill is to do exactly that, is to make sure that you don't measure the game. You can come out and, the team can have you've seen it before. You get great momentum with an opening kickoff for a touchdown and you lose 35-7, or you get up 21-0 at half and you lose 28-21. So it doesn't really matter, how you start, although you want to start well, but it does matter how you finish. And, whether that you can break it down to a play, you can break it down to a quarter, to a half, to and all the way to the end of the game. And that's what I'm trying to instill in these guys. Don't measure it. So it helps you from avoiding the emotions that you can get caught up in the game. Play the next play. Let's go. Let's have a great time doing it. And then at the end, when that clock hits 0-0-0, that's the time that you look up there and see, how the game went. And, that's what we're trying to get here.
Of course, one of the best quarterbacks in league history is on the other sideline, 16-year pro Aaron Rodgers. And Lions linebacker Jamie Collins doesn't see number 12 slowing down at all.
He's always trying to be the best. And like I said, no matter how old he is or, what he didn't accomplish, man, at the end of the day, it's all about competing and winning. I just feel like he always got that chip. He still got that chip, and we got to match it. Because like I said, obviously he's definitely having an MVP season, and he's looking pretty good. And our whole offense look good. So we just got to match it. We got to go out, do what we got to do. Like I said, play complimentary football and hope everything take care of itself because he's not missing the beat, man.
That's the Lions Today. I'm Nick Roddy.
There will be one Super Bowl champ crown at the end of this year. That's it. That's a fact. And the fact is we got to come back and go to work. That's all we got to do.
For a closer look at the Green Bay Packers, here's Charting the Opposition. Brought to you by Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Here's Chris Redwick.
The 9-3 Packers continue to lead in the NFC North, and as things stand, they're in a pretty comfortable position to win their second consecutive division title under second-year head coach Matt LaFleur. A win today against Detroit would go a long way in securing the title, and you better believe they wouldn't be in this situation without Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers has had a huge uptick in numbers through 13 weeks of this season as opposed to where he finished off last year. In fact, almost all of his numbers are up. Completion percentage, up. Yards per game, up. Yards per attempt, up. Touchdowns are up, as is the number of 300-plus yards per game. LaFleur says, in addition to getting more comfortable in their system, the staff has done a better job at putting Rodgers in a position well, to let it rip.
You know, he's put in the time and done a great job of leading us. And I mean, he's always been one of the best, if not the best, at the position. And I just think that any time that you're in a system for as long as he has been prior to last year, there is a transition process. I think you see it all the time with experienced quarterbacks that have done something a certain way, and then you might ask them to do something a little bit differently. I think there is a transition period there.
Now, defensively, the focus will no doubt be on trying to slow down Matthew Stafford, but they can't forget about guys coming out of the backfield either, and that includes Adrian Peterson. Linebacker Preston Smith played with AP in Washington and says he can still punish you if you let him.
You know, watching him in practice and seeing him on film now also, you know, he still has some juice. He has a lot left in the tank, and he can easily make a big play if allowed the opportunity. He still has a lot of ability left, even considering his age.
Kickoff for Lions Packers coming your way in just a bit. That's Charting the Opposition. I'm Chris Renwick.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Just this reminder now for your next tailgate this Lion season, make sure to visit Guernsey Farms Dairy in Northville. Their newly remodeled restaurant and ice cream parlor is open for carryout, and the dining room is open Friday through Sunday, 4 until 9. Pre-order by visiting GuernseyFarmsDairy.com. or find Guernsey's award-winning milk, ice cream, lemonade, and other dairy products in your local grocery store. Another reminder here, for those of you thinking Michigan State basketball would be here on WJR, well, there's a little change in plans. You can tune in and hear the Spartans take on the Oakland Golden Grizzlies on New Country 93.1. Number 4, Michigan State up on Oakland right now, 84-65. Don't go away. An insane college football Saturday. We'll talk about it coming up. This is Lions Radio.
Not looking too bad on your game day roadways. Really just construction work causing issues out there. One major construction project this weekend is shutting down I-94 in both directions between I-75 and Gratiot Avenue. That closure will be in place until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're seeing some heavy volume westbound on I-94 approaching that closure from about Connor Street. Other than that, the rest of your roadways are in pretty good shape. I'm Derek Peters.
Hear every Detroit Lions football game online from your PC or Mac at WJR.com.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes, bringing fresh light to a dark and troubled world. Never let your light shine down. When you help someone else, you help yourself, and that makes the world a better place. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today. Thanks for being part of Project Shine.
760 WJR.
If you're in the market for any type of vehicle, come see what we can do for you during our Big Finish 2020 sales event at Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi friends, happy holidays. Bill Golling here inviting you to stop in and see some of our great lease values. For example, qualified Chrysler employees can lease a 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cam Bighorn 4x4 for just $269 a month. Leases for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year with $1,000 down. So come see us. That's Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at Golling.com. And go Lions!
Sean Baligian here for Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. As a Lion fan, you know Sunday game day is all about tradition. Just because tailgating looks a little different this year, that doesn't mean we have to compromise our special traditions, like enjoying delicious Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. From old world flavor and consistent quality, Wigley's has been a fan favorite since 1924. So when you're planning your next Lions tailgate party, ask the critical question. Is it Wigley's? For more info, go to Wigley's.com. That's Wigley's.com.
From cookouts in summer to the depths of winter, natural gas is your safe, reliable, affordable energy source. Because DTE buys gas in the summer when prices are low and stores it to keep prices affordable. And we upgrade and monitor the system 24/7, 365. So for all you do, natural gas is there for you. Learn more at DTEenergy.com. DTE.
The
biggest challenge in football is putting a great team on the field. The second biggest is keeping them together. That's the difference with Bill Brown Ford in Livonia, with a winning staff of superstars for over 75 years in every position. From sales to service, whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or certified pre-owned vehicle, their service doesn't end at the sale. It begins there. That's why customers keep coming back to Bill Brown Ford in Livonia. So, who's your Ford dealer?
The best contractors, the best electricians, period. That's what Nika Signatory Contractors and IBEW Local 58 electricians bring to each and every job. Quality work, rooted in consistent and ongoing training. Licensed, competent, safety-minded, productive. From traditional electrical work to the most intricate systems and new technologies, smart businesses partner with the Nika IBEW team. From traditional electrical to the most intricate new technologies. Connect with us for your next project at poweringmichigansfuture.com.
Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian with y'all here on Lions Radio. The countdown underway. We are taking you to your Lions hosting the Green Bay Packers. You know, we're also Spartans Radio. And for those of you tuning in to hear Magnum TI and the Spartan Hoopsters, well, I'll just let you know they are up 88-68 on the Golden Grizzlies of Oakland U. 8:07 left in the fourth quarter. You can check it out at New Country 93.1. Meanwhile, as we take a look at what went down in a pretty crazy college football Saturday, Sean, we begin with what went down here on Spartan Radio. Your Michigan State Spartans fall to Penn State 39-24. Interesting, Penn State began for the first time in the illustrious history of their football program 0-5. They have now won 3 in a row. It was looking good for a while as Sparty led at the half 21-10. You had good thoughts at that time, didn't you, partner?
You did, especially, you know, you're thinking good things about the future with a quarterback, and already you're thinking to yourself, boy, this would be another nice win in this first year for Coach Tucker. And then,
but you're right. In his first collegiate start, Peyton Thorne left a mark. 22 of 39, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw that pick, actually in the Spartans' first possession. All those touchdown throws coming in the second quarter, where you go to the second half, Spartans outscored 29-3. Again, third down efficiency, a problem for the Spartans offense, just 2 of 12. Penalties reared their ugly head again, 7 for 57 yards. But I think Mel Tucker, taking a look at the work of Peyton Thorne, has to be very optimistic about moving forward.
yeah, and you know, Steve, overall, this was a season that I think everybody's going to, you know, kind of say it was a weird season, but maybe better than some people expected. Steve, I remember the beginning of the year, some people saying this team might win, you know, they'd be lucky if they win a game. And then after that first game against Rutgers, people were saying, well, where's the win going to come from? They had themselves a couple of big wins. Knocking off Michigan, obviously, is something everybody will remember, and knocking off, you know, highly ranked Northwestern, who, oh, by the way, has a date in the Big Ten championship game. So a lot to build on, a lot of work, but a lot to build on as well.
Not exactly sure where the Spartans will end up as we look forward to crossover weekend. There's all sorts of speculation going on, maybe some games on Friday, but we will certainly keep you posted. Meanwhile, Michigan, number 4, Ohio State, the rivalry for the first time in over 100 years canceled because of COVID-19. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, number 14, Northwestern getting it done, 28-10 winners over the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Northwestern 6-1. Number 16, Iowa. They beat Wisconsin 28-7. Iowa finishes 6-2. We know Northwestern and Ohio State will be your Big Ten participants in the championship game, Sean. And I think I saw that's going to be noon on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, listen, speaking of teams turning their seasons around, how about Kirk Ferentz in Iowa?
Oh, dear.
I wasn't sure that Kirk Ferentz was even going to survive with some of the off-the-field stuff, and they followed it up with some ugliness early on, and then they caught fire. So, yeah, Steve, I'm with you. You know what? It's the Big Ten championship game. I'm one of those people. I thank God that they got with the program and decided to roll with a Big Ten championship game. It took them long enough, but it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun next Saturday.
Before we get to the top 25 action, Army takes care of Navy 15-0. First shutout in the series since 1969. First meeting, Sean, as a matter of fact, at West Point since 1943. Didn't get a chance to see it because of the Spartan responsibilities, but what a game that is.
You know what? I don't think a lot of people got a chance to see it, Steve, because of all the fog that was there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really, you know what it reminded me of? And guys like us, we can show our age. There was that playoff game about 30 plus years ago between the Eagles and the Bears where it was eerie just watching it. I'm not saying it was that dense, but it was still pretty foggy during that game. It's still Army-Navy. I don't care what anybody says. That's still a watch.
As we've been talking about for a while, as it applies to college football, can you beat Alabama? Number one, the Crimson Tide roll over Arkansas 52-3. This game was tied at 3 in the first quarter. By the way, Mac Jones, many considering the Heisman favorite right now, kind of a pedestrian game as far as he goes when you take a look at the numbers. Let's see, 24-29, 208 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. But he is allegedly in the driver's seat as it applies to the Heisman. Moving forward, number 6, Florida. Oh, dear. They go down in defeat to LSU, 37-34. LSU now 4-5, the defending national champions. Got a little bit of pride left. Kyle Trask, 474 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's also a Heisman hopeful. How about defensive back Marco Wilson? He threw the shoe, the cleat, if you will, of LSU tight end Cole Taylor. That's a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, kept LSU's drive alive. Cade York says, thank you very much. 57-yard field goal with 23 seconds left. I've never seen it.
What are you doing, man?
Come
Throwing
on.
a shoe like yeah, I don't know if you saw it. Somebody came up with a funny meme last night, Steve. They kind of edited out the picture of the shoe and they threw like the college football playoff logo there instead, because that was Florida throwing out their chances for the college football playoff.
Unbelievable. And Dan Mullen, the Gators coach, afterwards, he was not in a good mood. He said, look, we've played 10 games. Maybe we should have played less. Apparently that's what people look at. A little shadow at the expense of Ohio State. All right, now, number 9, Georgia. They were taking on number 25, Missouri. Mizzou has been playing some ball lately. Not yesterday. Georgia wins it 49-14. How about number 17, North Carolina? All over. Number 10, Miami on the road, no less, 62-26. Sean, North Carolina, 778 yards of total offense.
Unbelievable. And Steve, you know what it was like? It was like watching old school football, Big Ten football, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I mean, they just kept running at the U. And this is yet another year where we have to have that time-honored game. Is the U back? No, they are not. We found that out definitively yesterday.
Elsewhere, number 15, USC comes from behind. They take care of UCLA 43-38. USC, a perfect 5-0 there in the Pac-12. Quickly, to the MAC we go. Here's all we need to talk about. Ball State upends Western Michigan 30-27. I'm sure you saw the hijinks at the end of this tilt. Clearly, it was a forward pass, right?
Yes. There's no, I wish I could add something to it. No, Steve, that was a forward pass.
A forward pass. Now, sadly for Broncos fans, the second year in a row, Western Michigan doesn't quite climb to the top of the mountain. It'll be Buffalo and Ball State in the MAC championship game. Meanwhile, we are to that point. Are you still in the money as far as fantasy goes? Well, this next report you're going to hear is very important. Here is Sean with the Fantasy Football Report.
Here's the Fantasy Football Report, brought to you by Hungry Howie's. Now get any 2 items from the Mix and Match menu for just $5.99 each. That's Hungry Howie's. Here's Sean Baligian.
I don't need to tell you, you start Aaron Rodgers. You don't take him out of your lineup. Period. End of story. Already with nearly 3,400 yards passing, 36 touchdowns against only 4 interceptions. Yeah. Aaron Jones, good option as well. I think everybody remembers what he did in the first matchup this year. I think Devontae Adams, 13 touchdowns already over 1,000 yards as well. That has to be looked at. I think you look at a couple different receivers, as a matter of fact, for the Green Bay Packers. Now, as far as the Lions go, it's a good news, bad news type of situation. The good news is you might see DeAndre Swift. He's questionable, but he practiced. So obviously, keep an eye on the inactives. If he goes, I think you put him in your lineup. Sadly, Kenny Golladay not back yet. So you have to drop the Lions offensive players just a notch with that. I think Matthew Stafford is going to have to throw a lot today. He might be a guy to keep an eye on. Marvin Jones, yeah, you might want to slide him in, and I'm going to be consistent. TJ Hawkinson, especially in those must-start tight end positions, yeah, you're going to want to look at him. I don't like the Lions running game unless Swift is in there, so keep an eye on those inactives. Good luck this week. I'm Sean Baligian. That is your Fantasy Football Report.
It's time for another page of the NFL Notebook, brought to you by Bill Brown Ford. Who's your Ford dealer? Here's Steve Courtney.
If there's one thing I know about the National Football League, it can be very unforgiving. How about this? Eagles coach Doug Peterson is naming Jalen Hurts his new starting quarterback, and the rookie will start later on this afternoon, 4:25 as a matter of fact, as the Eagles play host to the 10-2 New Orleans Saints. Carson Wentz, the team's franchise quarterback to this point, will be the backup to Mr. Hurts. Now, if you follow the game, you realize that Carson Wentz has struggled pretty much in every imaginable situation this season, no matter how you break it all down. Just a couple of really quick numbers here. Overall, he is ranked 28th. Third downs, 28th. Man coverage, 29th. Zone coverage, 30th. You get the point. Hurts, by the way, is coming off the bench in the Eagles' 30-16 loss to the Packers this past Sunday. He actually outperformed Wentz. Hurts finished 5 of 12 for 109 yards with a touchdown and an interception, while rushing 5 times for 29 yards. Wentz, meanwhile, ended 6 of 15 for 79 yards. He was sacked 4 times. Now, Carson Wentz, he's all of a sudden 27 years of age, and he's been mired in the worst season of his career, no doubt about that. Entering Sunday's game, ranked first in interceptions. He's thrown 15. He's been sacked 46 times. He is 31st in completion percentage and 30th in yards per attempt. Now, the fact of the matter is, it wasn't all that long ago. Carson Wentz was looked at as being the poster child for young and upcoming quarterbacks in the National Football League. Now, Jalen Hurts played 33 snaps over the first 11 games, lining up all over the formation while being used mostly as a gadget player, if you will. Now, when you take a look at the finances, they are rather steep. You got Carson Wentz signing that 4-year, $128 million extension in the summer of 2019. The Eagles, by the way, they're 3-8-1. They have lost 4 straight games, are in 3rd place in the questionable NFC East standings. The Eagles now will be turning to Jalen Hurts, and it's not going to be an easy assignment for him. Jalen Hurts getting the home start against a pretty good Saint team, and I'm sure you've heard story after story about how unforgiving Eagles fans can be. We'll have to see how the Jalen Hurts era all shakes out. That's NFL Notebook. I'm Steve Courtney.
Now let's go around the league. Here's Michael Stantz.
The Rams throttled the New England Patriots 24-3 on Thursday Night Football. The recipe for success for the Rams: an outstanding performance by the defense, sacking Cam Newton 4 times and holding him to just 119 yards passing. And, of course, a huge performance by second-round rookie Cam Akers, who ran for 171 yards on 29 carries. Here's Rams wideout Cooper Kupp from the NFL Network postgame show on Akers.
We got 3 guys back there that can all run the ball very well. And, I think Cam came out today with just a hot hand, and the offensive line was just moving guys up front so well. The way Cam was hitting the hole today, breaking tackles, it was just pretty special to watch. And, it inspires everyone. When you have a running back running like that, breaking tackles, for everyone to be able to give that extra effort to kind of spring your guy. It takes all 11 to get that run game going like that, but he's running the ball very well right now.
Akers 171 rushing yards, the most by a Rams rookie since Jerome Bettis ran for 212 yards against the New Orleans Saints back in 1993. With Thursday night's win, the Rams improved to 9-4 and will host the New York Jets in Week 15.
The New York Giants.
The 5-7 Giants, now winners of 4 in a row, surprised many with their 17-12 upset victory over the Seattle Seahawks last week. Today, the Giants return home and face another potent NFC offensive attack, the Arizona Cardinals, who have struggled as of late, dropping 3 straight to fall to 6-6 on the season. The Cardinals possess one of the more dangerous quarterbacks in the league in Kyler Murray, a dual threat with a rocket arm who now has 22 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns. Sure, the Giants did have great success against a mobile quarterback in Wilson, but head coach Joe Judge warned this week that Murray presents a whole different set of problems for the defense to solve.
I don't think it's the best thing to do is try to paint these guys with a broad brush and say that they're the same quarterback. I don't see that at all. I think they're both very talented, very capable. They're both explosive, but they both have their own play style. They both do things within their own unique personality. And you have to know how to play each one different. And there's a lot of subtleties that we see on tape. And there's some broad strokes that, our players have to understand are very different as well. But one of the misconceptions I've been asked about a lot this week and I've heard is just because someone can run and throw, does that help you? Well, look, we're playing Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. That's not the same as Russell Wilson. It's not the same as Murray. These are all very different quarterbacks, different skill sets. There's just some basic things you can check boxes on. Are they mobile? Yes. Do they have big arms? Yes. Are they explosive? Yes. Are they the same player? No. They're all very different. You better understand how they play within their offense and how they operate to be able to have a chance to have success against them.
The Miami Dolphins.
Now 8-4 after a 2-game winning streak and vying to lock up a spot in the postseason, the Dolphins host the 11-1 Kansas City Chiefs. Dolphins head coach Brian Flores made it clear this week how difficult it will be for the Miami defense to handle the many talented offensive weapons of the defending Super Bowl champions.
Who do you want to put on Watkins? Who do you want to put on Mecole Hardman? Who do you want to put on Robinson? We got to handle the backs too. Hilaire's a good back. Le'Veon Bell's not a slouch either. I wish we could have 14 defenders. That'd be nice. But they're hard conversations. Do we man them? Do we zone them? Do we blitz them? Andy's got every, play in the history of the National Football League. They run option, they run RPOs, they missile motion. Yeah, not going to be easy. So you guys can have fun with that. We'll do our best to try to get them covered, get it matched up.
The New Orleans Saints.
The 10-2 Saints head to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles later this afternoon. They've now won 9 games in a row, 3 with backup quarterback Taysom Hill, as they await the return of Drew Brees from injury. Head coach Sean Payton has won his last 8 games without Drew Brees, dating back to last season, when then backup Teddy Bridgewater won 5 games filling in for Brees. A guest on ESPN's Greeny show this week, Payton told host Mike Greenberg how they've been able to get it done without Brees under center.
There is a little bit more of an intra-focus on each individual, and then we're not going to replicate or replace exactly what Drew did in a game. Now, we're going to count on these other things, and we're going to utilize the things that Teddy Bridgewater does well or Taysom Hill does well. And we've been able to do that. And I think, look, the main thing for that quarterback position, and Parcells used to say it all the time, is to win and to win and to win again. And that's their job. And so that means protecting the football. That means trying to lead your team to score enough points. But certainly a quarterback's greatest ally can be a good defense, and a second one can be a good running game.
That's this week's Around the League. I'm Michael Stetz.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. Appreciated as always. Here on Lions Radio, we are counting you down to the Lions hosting Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Now, from time to time, we're also Spartans Radio. I'll let you know. Tom Izzo, number 4 MSU, all over Oakland U, 106-82, 137 left in the tilt. You can check out the ending at New Country 93-1. We've got more to go. The injury report for the Honolulu Blue and Silver coming up, as is our chat with the one and only Tori Petrie from DetroitLions.com. Leave it here. This is Lions Radio.
Road construction remains your primary obstacle out on the roadways this afternoon. I-94 completely shut down. All lanes closed in both directions between Gratiot Avenue and I-75 for road work. That's scheduled to stay in place until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Heading westbound on I-94, seeing some pretty heavy delays now. Connor Street into the Gratiot Avenue exit, where all traffic is being forced off the roadway. Derek Peters, WJR.
To make sense of the news that breaks daily. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. It's the holiday season. As you do your shopping, ship your packages, and make plans to celebrate safely, we'll stay on top of COVID-19, the coming vaccines, the lockdowns, the election lawsuits, and the path to inauguration. 2020 has been a hell of a year. End it the right way. Focus on your family and friends and the hope of a new year. Celebrate and enjoy. And keep one ear on 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
This is Lomas Brown. Did you know 100% pure hyperbaric oxygen can help heal new and old sports injuries like concussions, tears, and overworked muscles faster than traditional therapies? Oxford Recovery Center in Brighton and Troy have been treating Detroit's professional teams, Olympians, high school, and college athletes for over 10 years. They've even treated me, and they can help you too. Call Oxford Recovery Center at 248-486-3636 and learn the many benefits of hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or visit oxfordrecoverycenter.com.
Hi, I'm Larry Burns, President and CEO of the Children's Foundation. Our foundation is proud to have granted more funds in 2020 than any other year in our history. To date, nearly $7 million has been invested into the lives of children and families with a focused effort to provide for unexpected needs during the coronavirus pandemic. Because of your generosity, countless families receive crucial support. Please consider the Children's Foundation in your year-end giving. Learn more at yourchildrensfoundation.org.
Sean Baligian here for Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. As a Lion fan, you know Sunday game day is all about tradition. Just because tailgating looks a little different this year, that doesn't mean we have to compromise our special traditions, like enjoying delicious Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. From old world flavor and consistent quality, Wigley's has been a fan favorite since 1924. So when you're planning your next Lions tailgate party, ask the critical question. Is it Wigley's? For more info, go to Wigley's.com. That's Wigley's.com.
Do windows talk? Wallside windows do, especially now during the holidays. They send our greetings, communicate our feelings. For 76 years, the Wallside family has proudly made and installed windows to improve your home and brighten your holidays. Right now, save half off every Wallside window plus 5 years, no interest. If 2021 is the year to make your home more beautiful, schedule your safe at-home or virtual estimate at wallside.com.
The McLaren Proton Therapy Center at the Karmanos Cancer Institute offers the most powerful and precise radiation oncology treatment available. Using the latest generation technology, we're able to deliver high doses of radiation to the exact size and shape of your tumor while avoiding surrounding healthy tissue and organs. That means we can eliminate cancer with an unmatched precision, resulting in fewer side effects and improved outcomes for patients. To learn more, visit mclaren.org/proton therapy.
Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you. And as promised, this injury report is brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System, the official healthcare provider of the Detroit Lions. Call 1-800-HENRY-FORD or visit henryford.com/teamdocs. All right. For the Lions, unable to go against the Green Bay Packers, that would be your right tackle, Terrell Crosby. Also, wide receiver Kenny Galladay with that hip. He is going to miss his 5th straight game. Cornerback Jeff Okudah, he's got that bad groin. Not only is he out for the ball game, according to reports, he is going to have surgery on that groin. He is done for the year. I'll let you know, up on the defensive line, Austin Bryant, Deshaun Hand, both limited practice on Friday, listed as questionable. Safety C.J. Moore, limited practice as well. He is questionable. Up front, defensive tackle John Panasini. He's got a bad shoulder, limited practice on Friday. He is questionable as well. If you're looking for good news, running back DeAndre Swift, who has been out, first on concussion protocol, then illness, full practice on Friday, still listed as questionable. And as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, Everson Griffin, he will not be able to go today because he is on the COVID list. With that now being said, we look to our friend from DetroitLions.com, Tori Petrie. Unsportsmanlike conduct, throwing a shoe 20 yards downfield.
This hurts. I'm out. I'm not doing the rest of this radio.
Hold on.
I'm out.
My question.
You're starting there, Steve. You're starting there with
that was
Tori.
painful. You read the injury report and then you start with that.
Had he not thrown it 20 yards downfield, would it have been less of a penalty?
Oh man, I haven't even seen Lomas yet this morning. For our listeners who may not know, I'm a Florida Gator.
Yes,
I don't want
are.
to talk about last night's game, Steve. Just so you know, I don't want to talk about it.
Well,
I'm
you know what?
still a little salty.
We'll have it wrapped up in about 45 minutes. No, I
man,
felt
that
bad
hurt.
for you. I
Yeah.
thought about you, Tori, last night, and obviously Dan Mullen shares your thoughts on the tilt. He was none too pleased after. Now,
Who would be?
that being said, Lions, they have some stuff going on. They are now 5-7 on this year. There's 5 teams, Tori, in the NFC at 5-7 after the Arizona Cardinals. They're 6-6, still jockeying for postseason position. Look, first things first, it would be nice to see the Honolulu Blue and Silver win one at home, for crying out loud. Ford Field has not been kind. They're 1-4 with Aaron Rodgers coming to town.
Yeah, they certainly would like to get a win against the Packers today. But, Steve, I think it goes back to that injury report that you read. The Lions are dealing with a lot of injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Not having Everson Griffin today is huge. Up against Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he even talked this week about how when you face Aaron Rodgers, you got to bring a little bit extra juice. And he was excited to do that. Unfortunately, we got word that he was placed on the COVID list. So that's a huge loss for this defense. And then obviously not having Jeff Okudah out there or Desmond Trufant, those are big losses as well. So, you know, to stop Aaron Rodgers, you've got to cover well and you've got to get after the passer. So somebody needs to step up and do that today.
You know, and Tori, it's not like we didn't see that. I think people forget in week 2, everything looked so good for the Lions for nearly 2 quarters. I mean,
Right.
The game literally flipped upside down, but everything that you were just talking about, we saw them do that pretty much, I would say, for what, about 29 minutes?
Yeah, they definitely started well in that game against the Packers early this season, but they just let it get away from them. And that was what we saw, the opposite of last week against the Bears, was that the Lions were able to keep it together and come back in the fourth quarter. And that hasn't been something that we've seen from them in a long time. So, that is a little bit encouraging to say, hey, this was a team that could hang with the Packers, and we know that we've seen them do it. And it's a team that we're seeing kind of hang in there in the end of games and not lose hope and keep their energy going. And they're going to need to do that today because they cannot let this Green Bay team get out ahead of them a good chunk today, because that's definitely going to be a tough deficit to overcome.
Tori, always a pleasure spending time with you. Thank you very much. And don't worry about your Gators. They're going to be just fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. And look, it's all in good fun. I understand. And I always love talking football with you guys, whether it's Lions or college football. So let's do it some more.
All right, you betcha. Enjoy the
got
day.
it.
Tori
Thank you,
Petrie,
Tori.
our friend from DetroitLions.com. Don't you dare go away. More of the countdown straight ahead. This is Lions Radio.
There's not a ton of trouble out there on the roadways right now. Just one major problem courtesy of weekend-long construction work that's shutting down I-94 in both directions between Gratiot Avenue and I-75. That project scheduled to be in place until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're seeing westbound delays, Connor Street into Gratiot Avenue, where all motorists are being forced off of the roadway. Other than that,
The Lions pounce into Music City to take on the Tennessee Titans next Sunday at 1 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Celebrate 80 years with the family of Guernsey Farms Dairy this football season. Pick up the Guernsey Farms Dairy's award-winning milk, ice cream, lemonade, and other dairy products at your local grocer, or visit their newly remodeled store and restaurant in Northville.
If you're in the market for any type of vehicle, come see what we can do for you during our Big Finish 2020 sales event at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi friends, happy holidays. Bill Gowling here inviting you to stop in and see some of our great lease values. For example, qualified Chrysler employees can lease a 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cam Bighorn 4x4 for just $269 a month. Leases for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year with $1,000 down. So come see us. That's Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at Gowling.com. And go Lions!
In a world where only pizza matters, One pizza stands above the rest. Maybe rises is better since it's dough. One pizza rises above the rest. Hungry Howie's. A pizza with more flavor in every bite than any bite in the history of man. A pizza with flavored crust that's so famous for flavor, their motto is famous for flavor. And a meal deal fit for any family starting at just $5.99. Taste it in 4D today.
Hungry?
Howie!
Rinaldi Sausage has been making Michigan's best fresh sausage products for almost 40 years. No nitrates, glutens, or MSG, and never frozen. Check out RinaldiSausage.com for a local grocer near you and great recipe tips. Rinaldi Sausage, your link to good food and good times.
The best contractors, the best electricians, period. That's what Nika Signatory Contractors and IBEW Local 58 electricians bring to each and every job. Quality work, rooted in consistent and ongoing training. Licensed, competent, safety-minded, productive. From traditional electrical work to the most intricate systems and new technologies, smart businesses partner with the Nika IBEW team. From traditional electrical to the most intricate new technologies. Connect with us for your next project at poweringmichigansfuture.com.
This is Lomas Brown. Did you know 100% pure hyperbaric oxygen can help heal new and old sports injuries like concussions, tears, and overworked muscles faster than traditional therapies? Oxford Recovery Center in Brighton and Troy have been treating Detroit's professional teams, Olympians, high school, and college athletes for over 10 years. They've even treated me, and they can help you too. Call Oxford Recovery Center at 248-486-3636 and learn the many benefits of hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or visit oxfordrecoverycenter.com.
Wherever your family calls home, Blue Cross is here for you. By supporting and building healthy communities in every zip code, we're providing a healthier future for all of Michigan. For 81 years, we've kept this promise to help strengthen our neighbors, to stand by their side during the moments they need us most. We're here for it all, and always will be. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit hereforitall.com.
The Sam Bernstein Law Firm is the official legal team of the Detroit Lions Radio Network, Michigan's first family of law. 1-800-CALL-SAM. For those of you tuning in, expecting to hear Michigan State hoops, well, it's all over. I'll let you know. The Spartans improved to 6-0, knocking off the Golden Grizzlies of Oakland U 109-91. Wayne Larrabee has been the fine play-by-play radio voice of the Green Bay Packers for a long, long time. He may have called a touchdown by the late, great Paul Hornung. I digress. He's going to sit down and have a little how you doing with our own Michael Stetz. That conversation went a little like this.
We head now to the opposing sideline to get a closer look at today's opponent. We bring on now play-by-play man from the Packers Radio Network, Wayne Larrabee. Wayne, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Quite a difference in both teams since last we spoke in week 2, huh?
Yeah, Mike. I mean, it's like they haven't played yet this year. Really kind of different in many respects both ways, but especially for the Lions with the change they've had. And our old friend Darrell Bevel taking over as head coach, we all wish him the best because he's really one of the best guys in the business.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about him. There's been a lot of turning back the clock here. When he took over, they had the photo of him and Brett Favre from the early 90s when he was at Wisconsin, the Rose Bowl and everything back then. What do you remember from back in that time?
Well, he came in as a quality control assistant, which is the first step really on the totem pole for coaches under Mike Sherman, and he quickly worked his way up. I mean, he was a sharp guy, and he moved up pretty quickly on that coaching staff and handled quarterbacks and things like that. And you could see this guy had more than going for him than what he was assigned. But they moved him up the chain pretty quickly, and then eventually went on to Minnesota, where he did some good things there, in Seattle, and he's had a wonderful career as an assistant and offensive coordinator. But, there might be more in store for him, and I think that's what he's trying to prove.
Matt LaFleur, 22-6 in his first 28 games. How about the start that Matt LaFleur continues to have here in year number 2?
Yeah, I mean, he and his staff have come in and done a tremendous job with this football team. And, they got some help from the front office last year with Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, Adrian Amos, and Billy Turner coming in here. And this year they're getting a tremendous performance from the quarterback. He's really turned back the clock to 2011 and is having one of those vintage years. And, I got to say this, though, that what LaFleur has done has helped change the feel for this football team. And I think that
in addition to that, he's changed the offensive concept, whereas Mike McCarthy was more of a downfield man-on-man, you beat your guy, get open, and Brett or Aaron will find you. What they do now is they scheme people open, and so LaFleur is running kind of that Kyle Shanahan type of offense you see, maybe a little bit of Sean McVay in there. And their receivers don't just go downfield trying to beat people. Receivers are rubbing defenders off. They're crossing routes. A lot of it's sideline to sideline and then turning upfield. A lot of it's short passing where you hit the guy on a cross maybe 15 yards downfield. He turns it up into a 30-yard gain, that kind of thing. And so what I'm seeing with this offense that's different from what they ran under McCarthy is they scheme to get people open here, whereas with McCarthy, a lot of it had to do with winning your matchup. You the wide receiver, beating the guy across from you. And that was great when you had great talent at wide receiver like they had in 2011 and 2012. But, you oftentimes don't have that kind of talent. So you have to kind of scheme people open. And this is allowing some young receivers who are just getting their feet wet in the league, blossoming a lot quicker than they would have under the old system.
Aaron Rodgers eclipses 400 touchdown passes faster than anybody in NFL history. Man, he may be a little bit older, but he continues to rifle the ball down the field to Devontae Adams and company. How about the milestone for Rodgers?
Well, the amazing thing about that is that 400 touchdown passes, less than 100 interceptions in his career. He only has 88 interceptions in his career. So that really has been the talk of it. He's immensely talented. I mean, arguably the best quarterback the Packers have ever had, and they've had some good ones in Brett Favre and Bart Starr. And Lynn Dickey is another one who doesn't get a lot of credit, but James Lofton, the Hall of Fame wide receiver, calls Lynn Dickey, not Jim Kelly, but Lynn Dickey, the best quarterback he ever played with. And Jim Kelly was a tremendous talent, of course, at Buffalo and is a Hall of Famer. But the point is this, what Aaron has done in the consistency that he brings to the party. He's even his bad years, and he said this kind of boastfully this summer, but I think it's very true. His bad years are somebody's career years, for the most part. And that's the thing that's amazing about him. The difference between him and Brett Favre, Brett would do those fun gunslinger type of plays that make your eye, that you talk about for years, but he'd also throw the ball into an interception at a crucial time in a ball game that would cost you a playoff game or something. So, that's not going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. It would be stunning if that happened. He really takes care of the football, and yet his numbers, he continues to push the ball downfield, and his numbers have been great.
On the defensive side of the ball, Zadarius Smith, this really stood out to me. The first Packer since Clay Matthews to have back-to-back years of 10 sacks or more. He has 10.5 on the season. How important has he been to the Packers defense?
Well, last year he came in along with Preston Smith, and they really changed the culture of the locker room. The team, they really took the team both sides of the ball, actually all three phases, and they made the game fun again. And just their personality. Now, that's off the field. They wouldn't have had that impact off the field if they weren't doing something on the field. They had monster years last year on the field. Now, this year they haven't been quite as effective as Zadarius is having a Pro Bowl caliber year. Preston is just now starting to come into his own this season. He's had a struggle. Hasn't had as many sacks, hasn't been as prevalent in the pass rush. But over the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's become the player we saw last year. And I think that's going to bode well down the stretch. So they've had a tremendous impact.
I know there's been talk of the Packers winning. They get the division this week. They're still right there fighting with the Saints. Saints are 10-2 for that number 1 seed. The focus, you think, is it more on the big picture here, or are they still kind of just focused on a Lions team that's kind of much different than week 2?
Well, I haven't heard a whole lot of talk about the division necessarily, but the focus for the Packers has been on the Lions. And they realize that the Lions are, gained a lot in that second half at Chicago. You could see it. They stepped to another level. They feel real good about Darryl, and they want to, finish out this 5 games as best they can. Technically, they're still in the playoff hunt. I mean, stranger things have happened. But, the focus for the Packers is trying to stay focused on the Detroit Lions, knowing how difficult it was to beat the Lions the last 2 years, and realizing they were down 14-3 in the first half in the first matchup, week 2. So I don't think there's any question the Packers aren't looking past the Lions. And the other thing about the NFL this year, it seems, I don't know about you, Mike, but more than ever, it seems to me like anything can happen, and it's such a week-to-week business. It always has been, but it's such a week-to-week business. I mean, I look at the teams like Seattle and Tennessee and several others just last weekend in Pittsburgh that weren't able to take care of business at home. And this league is just, you can't count on it. You're good 1 week. 1 week you're on your way to the Super Bowl, and the next week you lose and you wonder if you're ever going to win another game again. That's just the way it is. I don't know if it's the pandemic. I think it's just the NFL, the way things are these days.
Well, I appreciate your time as always, Wayne. Thank you so much. Good luck to you today, and good luck the rest of the season. Thanks for a few minutes.
My pleasure.
All right, there he goes, the play-by-play man of the Packers Radio Network, Wayne Larrivee. We'll send it back now to Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
All right, Michael, thank you very much, and thank you, Wayne Larrivee, a true pro. Steve and Sean here. We are counting you down to the Lions hosting the aforementioned Green Bay Packers. The thing about late game, Sean, we've already got some action underway. The Bears trying to get off the schneid. They have lost 6 straight. They are up on the Texans right now, 23-7, 1:45 left in the second quarter. What's the Cowboys doing? They're in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They're up 17-7. How about that?
A little revenge from Andy Dalton against his former team. He's got a touchdown pass, so good luck right now for the Pokes.
All right. Meanwhile, what's going on with the Dolphins? They are. What is that? Am I looking at that right? 8-4. How about the Fins? Right now, they trail the Chiefs at home 14-10. Patrick Mahomes, 13 of 19, 172 yards, a touchdown, but he's also thrown 2 picks. Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting game there, and it goes to show you, Steve, again, how quickly teams can turn it around in the National Football League. I mean, there are a couple teams, Steve, in the last couple of years, you and I have been talking about it. Oh, my goodness, the Dolphins are a mess. The Cardinals are a mess. You know, the Dolphins giving the Chiefs all they can handle. The Cardinals with the lead right now. They're 6-6, keeping their playoff hopes very much alive. So certainly some work to be done for the Lions, but as we've seen a couple of teams do, you can get it turned around quick, fast, in a hurry in the National Football League.
All right, the Giants, as well as the Lions, one of 5 teams in the NFC at 5-7. Giants playing some ball of late. Right now, at home, they trail the Cardinals 13-0. The Buccaneers, they're at home. They're facing the Purple People Eaters. Bucks on top 14-6. And the Broncos, what? They're on top of the Panthers 13-7. How about that? More on that coming up in just a bit, as well as the countdown as we take you up to Lions and Packers. The Lions still mathematically in the postseason hunt. Plenty to discuss as it relates to the Honolulu Blue and Silver. By all means, leave it here. This is Lions Radio.
Well, you only have one trouble spot out there, but it's a major one. All lanes are shut down both directions on I-94 between I-75 and Gratiot Avenue. That's a weekend-long construction project that'll be in place until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm Derek Peters, WJR Traffic and Weather first.
Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match. Never let your light shine down. Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match.
760 WJR.
Sean Baligian here for Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. As a Lion fan, you know Sunday game day is all about tradition. Just because tailgating looks a little different this year, that doesn't mean we have to compromise our special traditions, like enjoying delicious Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. From old world flavor and consistent quality, Wigley's has been a fan favorite since 1924. So when you're planning your next Lions tailgate party, ask the critical question. Is it Wigley's? For more info, go to Wigley's.com. That's Wigley's.com.
Hi, this is Larry Burns, President and CEO of the Children's Foundation. At the Children's Foundation, we partner with like-minded organizations to support innovative programs that improve the health and well-being of children and families. We listen to the needs of the community, and then we take the lead in developing opportunities to create change through grant making, fundraising, and advocacy. As you consider your year-end giving, I invite you to join us in our efforts. Learn more at yourchildrensfoundation.org.
DTE believes that leaders do what's right, not what's easy. So we're building the largest wind and solar installations in the state and using cleaner natural gas. And over the next 10 years, we'll triple renewables and cut carbon emissions in half. We're committed to a future where affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. Learn more at dtecleanenergy.com. DTE.
There's never been a better time to lease a new vehicle than now during our Big Finish 2020 sales event at Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi friends, happy holidays. Bill Golling here telling you, all qualified Chrysler employees, that you can now lease a 2021 Compass Limited 4x4 for just $199 a month. Leases for 39 months, 10,000 miles a year with $1,000 down. So give us a try. I think you really enjoy doing business with us here at Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at golling.com. Again, happy holidays and go Lions.
The McLaren Proton Therapy Center at the Kermanis Cancer Institute offers the most powerful and precise radiation oncology treatment available. Using the latest generation technology, we're able to deliver high doses of radiation to the exact size and shape of your tumor while avoiding surrounding healthy tissue and organs. That means we can eliminate cancer with an unmatched precision, resulting in fewer side effects and improved outcomes for patients. To learn more, visit mclaren.org/proton therapy.
This is the Detroit Lions Countdown to Kickoff on the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Ford Motor Company, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Wallside Windows, Rinaldi Sausage, Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, DTE Energy, McLaren Healthcare, Hungry Howie's, Bill Brown Ford, Oxford Recovery Center, Guernsey Farms Dairy, the Children's Foundation, Henry Ford Medical Group, Wigley's Famous Eastern Market Corned Beef, Mechanical Contractors Association of Detroit, and Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Now, from Lions Radio Central, here are Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
With open arms, well, virtually, we welcome you to Lions Radio Central. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian, indeed here at your service, and we are counting you down to your Detroit Lions and Aaron Rodgers and the 9-3 Green Bay Packers. You know, Sean, I think we owe it to ourselves and Lions Nation to go back 1 week. Pretty impressive win for Darrell Bevell in his first game as a head coach in the National Football League. Lions indeed showing some spirit. Early fourth quarter, Lions trailing 30-20. Subsequently, and the Lions' third possession of the second half, Matthew Stafford throws a pick, and you're thinking, oh boy, this is not going to end well. But indeed it did. Lions fight, scratch, claw their way to a 34-30 win for Darrell Bevell. Now, what is the lasting impression here? We'll see as they tangle with the Packers.
Winning heals, Steve. I mean, really. And there have been a lot of things that have made you hang your head this year. There have been a lot of things that have made, most importantly, the guys in that locker room hang their head. But last week against the Bears, they were able to flip the script. They have watched on a consistent basis, really, the last couple of years, other teams, when the moment presented itself, make some plays and find a way to win football games. Last week, it was the Lions on both sides of the ball that found a way to flip that script and win the football game. You've got a glorious opportunity to continue that today against the Pack.
You know, one thing's for sure, Sean, during the course of all the Zoom calls with Darrell Bevell this week, we had some reporters, obviously, from Wisconsin chime in. And Darrell Bevell, let me just say, is a beloved character in the great state of Wisconsin. Played quarterback for the University of Wisconsin. Then he was part of the Green Bay Packers. As a matter of fact, he oversaw a quarterback room that had Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Doug Peterson, now the head coach with the Eagles. But I'll tell you what, this guy still is an icon in Wisconsin.
It doesn't seem like that long ago. They had that magic year in 1993. You know, Barry Alvarez was a hot name in the college football world. And, you know, people said, well, what are you going to Wisconsin for? Well, a couple of years later, 3 to be precise, we found out exactly what he was going to Wisconsin for. And that was to win the Big Ten title. And, of course, Darrell Bevell was the coach of that team. And Bevell is a guy, his name has been out there forever and a day. He just never had that opportunity as a head man, and he made the most of it in week 1. Boy, could he make a big statement this week, knocking off a really good Green Bay Packer team that has, you know, Steve, to me, again, one of the best quarterbacks you'll ever see in Aaron Rodgers.
No question about it. And Mr. Rodgers, he's got the neighborhood playing some pretty darn good offense. Points per game, they are number 1 in the league at 31.6. Total offense, they are 2nd in the league. Rushing offense, they are tied for 8th. Passing offense, they are 5th. I'm getting depressed as I go on, but the fact of the matter is, Sean, Darrell Bevell and the Lions going to be shorthanded defensively because you should know the Lions placed defensive end Everson Griffin on the COVID list. Of course, they are already without Trey Flowers. Austin Bryant is listed as questionable. So I'll tell you what, defensively, this Lions team is going to have to play flawless. Anything short of that, it will not end well.
No, absolutely. It's already difficult enough as it is. I mean, we saw that in the first time these two teams matched up. You know, we were discussing it. The Lions were looking good for about 29 minutes. The Packers got that touchdown right before half, and then really it was all Packers in the second half of that game. And Steve, one of the things that unfortunately became commonplace in the Patricia era, in particular this year, was the relative ease at which teams did things. And that's what we saw in that second half. Steve, the thing that jumps out to me is seeing those Packers wide receivers literally running amok downfield. Hey, look at me. I'm wide open and everything. So certainly the task is going to be a daunting one for the Lions defensively today.
Well, and we'll take it a step further. If this Lions defense comes out at Ford Field against the Packers today, and they play the first half that they did against the Bears a week ago, it's over.
Oh, and I'm with you, because you know what? Aaron Rodgers isn't going to make some of the mistakes that Mitchell Trubisky made. Period. End of story. He's going to make you pay, and pay dearly.
All right, the Lions with 4 games left, including the Packers, of course. Yeah, the Lions are still holding on to faint postseason hopes. Darrell Bevell made no bones about it when he took the interim job. Let's go get ourselves a wild card spot. All right, it is a daunting task to say the least. The Lions right now 5-7. There are 5 teams in the NFC at 5-7. Completely different, as you might suspect, for the 9-3 Packers. The Packers clinched the NFC North with a win and a Vikings loss or tie. Or if they tie the Detroit Lions and the Vikings lose to Tampa, that game underway right now. We've just gotten so used to the Packers being at the forefront of the NFC North.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way it is. And again, it starts with 12. I've said it once. I've said it 100 times. I will worry about that guy as long as he's out on the field. That's just the way it is. I mean, the reports of the Packers' demise have been greatly exaggerated over the last few years, and it all comes back to 12. I don't care what is around him. When that guy's on the football field, he's one of those guys that makes players around him better. Period. And so because of that, Stephen, and because of the position the Lions put themselves into, the margin of error is razor thin.
And I will give kudos to Aaron Rodgers, who recently, and I think we discussed it last week on the countdown, Sean, went to bat for number 9, Matthew Stafford. Just saying, look, this dude can sling it. He is underrated. His numbers speak for themselves. And that was kind of out of character for Aaron Rodgers, but I appreciated it nonetheless.
Yeah, it is strange, Steve. It just seems like there's a different level of appreciation and, dare I say, respect about number 9 than there is in our town. I mean, everybody's still, busy trying to debate what he is, what he isn't. But people that follow this game closely, especially quarterbacks, boy, they're quick, fast, in a hurry, ready to give some respect to him.
All right, Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian in Lions Radio Central, making sure the countdown is underway. And we've got more information to share with you, such as what else is going on with the Lions today.
We're 2 hours away from kickoff at Ford Field for a preview of today. It's Lions Today. Here's Nick Roddy.
The Lions and Packers are getting ready to square off for the 181st time in NFL history, and Green Bay leads the all-time series 100-73 with 7 ties. Detroit is about to kick off the second game in the Darrell Bevell era, sitting at 5-7, and looking up at the division-leading Packers in the NFC North, who are currently 9-3. The last time these two teams met was Week 2 in a 42-21 Packers victory. And Coach Bevell is preaching to his team to stay the course during the game and have fun.
That's the thing that we're trying to instill, is to do exactly that, is to make sure that you don't measure the game. You can come out and, the team can have you've seen it before. You get great momentum with an opening kickoff for a touchdown and you lose 35-7, or you get up 21-0 at half and you lose 28-21. So it doesn't really matter, how you start, although you want to start well, but it does matter how you finish. And, whether that you can break it down to a play, you can break it down to a quarter, to a half, to and all the way to the end of the game. And that's what I'm trying to instill in these guys. Don't measure it. So it helps you from avoiding the emotions that you can get caught up in the game. Play the next play. Let's go. Let's have a great time doing it. And then at the end, when that clock hits 0-0-0, that's the time that you look up there and see, how the game went. And, that's what we're trying to get here.
Of course, one of the best quarterbacks in league history is on the other sideline, 16-year pro Aaron Rodgers. And Lions linebacker Jamie Collins doesn't see number 12 slowing down at all.
He's always trying to be the best. And like I said, no matter how old he is or, what he didn't accomplish, man, at the end of the day, it's all about competing and winning. I just feel like he always got that chip. He still got that chip, and we got to match it. Because like I said, obviously he's definitely having an MVP season, and he's looking pretty good. And our whole offense look good. So we just got to match it. We got to go out, do what we got to do. Like I said, play complimentary football and hope everything can take care of itself, because he's not missing the beat, man.
That's Lions Today. I'm Nick Roddy.
There will be one Super Bowl champ crowned at the end of this year. That's it. That's a fact. And the fact is, we got to come back and go to work. That's all we got to do.
For a closer look at the Green Bay Packers, here's Charting the Opposition. Brought to you by Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Here's Chris Redwick.
The 9-3 Packers continue to lead in the NFC North. And as things stand, they're in a pretty comfortable position to win their second consecutive division title under second-year head coach Matt LaFleur. A win today against Detroit would go a long way in securing the title, and you better believe they wouldn't be in this situation without Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers has had a huge uptick in numbers through 13 weeks of this season as opposed to where he finished off last year. In fact, almost all of his numbers are up. Completion percentage, up. Yards per game, up. Yards per attempt, up. Touchdowns are up, as is the number of 300-plus yards per game. LaFleur says, in addition to getting more comfortable in their system, the staff has done a better job at putting Rodgers in a position, to let it rip.
He's put in the time and done a great job of leading us. And, he's always been one of the best, if not the best, at the position. And I just think that any time that you're in a system for as long as he has been prior to last year, there is a transition process. I think you see it all the time with experienced quarterbacks that have done something a certain way, and then you might ask them to do something a little bit differently. I think there is a transition period there.
Now, defensively, the focus will no doubt be on trying to slow down Matthew Stafford, but they can't forget about guys coming out of the backfield either, and that includes Adrian Peterson. Linebacker Preston Smith played with AP in Washington and says he can still punish you if you let him.
Watching him in practice and seeing him on film now also, he still has some juice. He has a lot left in the tank, and he can easily make a big play if allowed the opportunity. He still has a lot of ability left, even considering his age.
Kickoff for Lions Packers coming your way in just a bit. That's Charting the Opposition. I'm Chris Renwick.
Chris, thank you very much. The countdown here on Lions Radio in full effect. I'm Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian around as well, and we've got more information to share with you. Meanwhile, I'll let you know, our own Ken Brown back to 100%. That's good news, which means the meeting room is open. We'll go there as we continue. This is Lions Radio.
Game day roadways are in pretty good shape with one major exception. That's I-94 shut down in both directions for road construction this weekend between Gratiot Avenue and I-75. That's scheduled to stick around until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Westbound delays into that closure from about Connor Street to Gratiot Avenue. Derek Peters, WJR, traffic and weather first.
Guy Gordon 3 to 5, Mitch Albom 5 to 7. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes, bringing fresh light to a dark and troubled world.
Never let your light shine down.
When you help someone else, you help yourself, and that makes the world a better place. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today. Thanks for being part of Project Shine.
760 WJR.
In a world where only pizza matters, one pizza stands above the rest. Maybe rises is better since it's dough. One pizza rises above the rest. Hungry Howie's. A pizza with more flavor in every bite than any bite in the history of man. A pizza with flavored crust that's so famous for flavor, their motto is famous for flavor. And a meal deal fit for any family starting at just $5.99. Taste it in 4D today. Hungry Howie's.
If you're in the market for any type of vehicle, come see what we can do for you during our Big Finish 2020 sales event at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi friends, happy holidays. Bill Gowling here inviting you to stop in and see some of our great lease values. For example, qualified Chrysler employees can lease a 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cam Bighorn 4x4 for just $269 a month. Leases for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year with $1,000 down. So come see us. That's Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at Gowling.com. And go Lions!
Wallside Windows is the official window company of the Detroit Lions Radio Network. We can do that. We are the factory. And Wallside Windows, that adds strategically placed, folks, because I think the meeting room has brand new Wallside windows in it. We'll find out for sure as we turn things over to the one, the only, Ken Brown. KB?
Now entering the meeting room, a sit down with your favorite Detroit Lions. Here's Ken Brown.
And we're here at this week's edition of the meeting room. Ken Brown here, along with, I guess I'm going to call him the man of the week, defensive tackle, Detroit Lions, Kevin Strong. Hello, Kevin.
What's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing? You're player of the week for me because you made the stop of the game, and I'm happy to hear from you this week. How big a play was that?
Man, it was amazing, but it wasn't just me, you know. I took the whole team, and me and Reggie ended up coming up to finish out the job. So it was amazing, though, man. Just being back on the field, like being with my teammates, feeding off their energy, being able to fight through and win that game. It was no feeling like that in the world. So I enjoyed it, man.
Well, it's like tackle. I mean, like, you know, when you're a kid, you play touch football, or just play tag. Last person to touch it gets the credit. So that was you on the when they pulled off the pile, you were at the bottom, so you get the credit for it. But I agree, it was a nice team play. Were you guys expecting them to run that play, or was that just you just doing your responsibilities? Did you think they were going to try to run it?
Well, we always do our responsibility, but I, in my mind, cold-heartedly thought they was going to try to run it and pound it on us. So, and then that was all outside mindset. So they were just telling us, make sure you did your job at the end of the day. You know, you ain't got to do nothing extra on the play. You don't have to do nothing extra in that moment. Everybody do their job and all work out. So that's what happened.
Now, everybody knows the Lions have went through a coaching change before that game. That was the first game with a new coach. You were down by 10 in the fourth quarter. You get the victory. Tell me the emotions of the team before that game to the emotions of the team after that game.
Man, guys just went in there. Their whole game plan was we go in there with our heads on fire, no worries, just enjoy yourself. And at the end of the day, we'll count the score. So before the game, it was, you know, it was in there. We're not going to think about it. It's just our next opponent. They the next person in the way. Chicago was the next roadblock. So we were in there, no worries, just go in there. We're going to play our best, play our hardest, enjoy the game, enjoy our time out there on the field. And then at the end of the day, like you said, count the score at the end of the game, and it ended up working out in our favor. So it was never no stress or no panic or nothing like that. It was just stay calm, keep your head down and continue to work. And then at the end of the game, we'll count the score. So it ended up working out for the better.
That's got to be the mantra of your career with the Lions so far, because, like I said, you've been on the active routes. You've been on the practice squad. They let you go back to the practice squad. You come up. You have been moving around this whole year. You got to say something for the players out there trying to make the league, because by looking at you, you never gave up, and you always said, I'm going to play on this team. And to go from where you've been this year, tell me about that roller coaster.
Man, yeah, you know, at the beginning of the year, it's been, I mean, for all of us, the whole country, it's been a world, it's been up and down, it's been crazy, but my faith's so strong, man. I'd have been through a lot of stuff in my lifetime, man, and even before the league, college, high school, and I always never just gave up. I just always had the mindset, faith that stuff gonna work out for me. So if I had to tell any guy, just, man, keep your faith, keep working, keep your head down, and it's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel eventually. So just keep on working, man, and it'll all work out for you. I never just give up. Just keep on pushing. It'll work out eventually. Patience is key, so.
That'll work. And plus, I was looking over your resume. At first, I saw, he went to high school in Cleveland. So I was like, okay, I know a lot of people in Ohio. And it was like, oh, that's Cleveland, Texas. You got to tell me about Cleveland, Texas.
Yeah, man. Nobody know. When I first went to college, everybody thought that too. Like, oh, you from Cleveland, Ohio? Man, I promise my freshman and sophomore year, I literally just explained where I was from the whole 2 years. Like, nobody knew about Cleveland, Texas. So
how big is it?
It's probably a town of like 7,000 to 8,000 people. It's not really big, you know. But like I say, man, nobody really knew about it, so it's my job to let it be known.
That's right.
Put Cleveland, Texas on the map.
Then you went to UTSA, which is the University of Texas, San Antonio. Now, is that actually in the city, or is it right outside the city and it's a campus? Or is it a city campus?
It's actually a city campus right in the middle.
So you got like people that were going to work every day and people going to school every day, right? In the whole, all together.
Yeah, you got, it's in and out traffic, man. San Antonio's so busy. It's really crazy. But, you know, once you be there for a little bit, you start to learn your routine just like anywhere else. So It wasn't that bad, man. I enjoyed it. I loved the college experience. So it was amazing to me.
I do have a point of contention with San Antonio, though. I finally made it down there, and I went to see the Riverwalk, and I was like, "Is that all the water it is?" I thought it was like a real lake or a river, man. That thing's like
man.
Where's the water?
They hype it up to be like it's the biggest ocean in the world, but it ain't. It ain't that close to that, man. It's just a cool little spot. You know, you get to eat, enjoy yourself. They got a mall down there on the Riverwalk, different things to see. You can do like a boat ride, but even though, it ain't too much water, but it's a good little scenery. So it's cool. We used to take different recruits down there too.
Oh yeah.
But when they came there, yeah.
Did they actually go to the school after seeing it?
Oh yeah, I mean, most of them did. For the most part, we had a good rate at it. They love they go their child. That was our feeling.
Okay.
But we took them to eat all you can and go out. I mean, the guys enjoyed it. And like I said, the Riverwalk was always a great experience. I know when I went my first time, I enjoyed it, especially coming from Cleveland, Texas. You don't see too much city stuff, too much big stuff and great things. So it was amazing. Everything was amazing to me.
Well, that's good. And I'm happy for your career going this way, and you're going to get a lot of playing time these last 4 weeks with everything going on. And you guys are still not out of it yet, man. Everybody's falling back in, so you got to go to get this Green Bay game this week. So I look forward to seeing when you're out there. But before you leave today, every time you come in the meeting room, I got a meeting room question. So I got one ready for you. Are you ready for it, Mr. Strong?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is the best Christmas movie of all time?
It's a lot of them. I have to say Home Alone.
Ah, nice pick. Nice.
You ever
pick.
watch it, man?
Oh yeah,
me and
nice.
My grandma used to watch it all the time. I love Home Alone.
Nice pick.
Every one of them.
Very nice. All right, Kevin, it's been a pleasure talking to you. When this pandemic's over, I hope to get in touch and meet you again. But just go out and keep doing what you're doing, because we're gonna make a playoff run here. So good luck to you for the rest of the season.
Oh yes, sir. Thank you, man. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too. That's Kevin Strong here in the meeting room.
All right, KB, appreciate it. And with all due respect, I would like to just point out to KB and Mr. Kevin Strong, down in San Antonio, it's called Riverwalk for a reason. Because it's a river. It's not a lake. It's not Lake Walk. Are you with me, Sean? I mean, am I the only one?
And you can walk the river. You can. They it's amazing. They have this walk, and well,
It's by the river. And
Next
if
to the
you
river.
walk by the river, it would become what? The
You would be
river walk.
walking.
Okay. We are going to come back with the inactive list as well as Mr. Tim Twentyman, our friend from DetroitLions.com. Meanwhile, I'll let you know this is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
This is Lomas Brown. BetMGM, the first official sports betting partner of the Detroit Lions, is coming soon to Michigan. But you can sign up right now with a special early registration offer. Open a BetMGM account today, and you'll receive $100 in free sports bets and $100 in free casino bets. It's the best way to be ready for the action the moment BetMGM begins accepting wagers, and there is no deposit required. Enjoy the same excitement you've come to expect at MGM Grand Detroit on an easy-to-use, state-of-the-art app, and find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks with the best daily promotions. Plus, play your favorite casino games anytime from anywhere in Michigan. It's almost showtime at BetMGM. Get in on it early by signing up today and get $100 in free sports bets and $100 in free casino bets that you can use as soon as the fun starts at BetMGM.
Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
DTE believes that leaders do what's right, not what's easy. So we're building the largest wind and solar installations in the state and using cleaner natural gas. And over the next 10 years, we'll triple renewables and cut carbon emissions in half. We're committed to a future where affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. Learn more at DTECleanEnergy.com. DTE.
Whether it's 2 a.m. on the weekend or you just need a second opinion, Blue Cross is here with more ways to help you access the care you need. You can call our 24-hour nurse line with any questions during those early mornings or schedule a virtual doctor visit to get that second opinion. Anytime, anywhere, we are here for it all and always will be. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit hereforitall.com.
Know how to recognize a great company? A dedicated team.
Like me.
And me.
And me.
I started at Wallside 38 years ago.
19 years.
33 years.
30 years.
I'm a supervisor at Wallside Windows, and I've been here for 7 years.
Of course, you don't last at Wallside.
If you don't do things the right way, the Wallside way.
The Wallside way.
We build windows that last.
And last.
Just like me.
And me. Just like us.
Call 1-800-521-7800.
This is Kerryon Johnson of your Detroit Lions. Tune in right here every week to listen to the Lions football on the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
The McLaren Proton Therapy Center at the Kermanis Cancer Institute offers the most powerful and precise radiation oncology treatment available. Using the latest generation technology, we're able to deliver high doses of radiation to the exact size and shape of your tumor while avoiding surrounding healthy tissue and organs. That means we can eliminate cancer with an unmatched precision, resulting in fewer side effects and improved outcomes for patients. To learn more, visit mclaren.org/proton therapy.
Before we go any further, this is very important. Let's pause 10 seconds for our network stations to identify themselves. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network. Welcome back. We missed you. Now, today's inactive list is brought to you by Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins, not going. For your Detroit Lions against the Pack, that would be quarterback David Blau, missing his 5th consecutive game. Wide receiver Kenny Galladay. The fine young quarterback Jeff Okudah. He will not only miss this tilt, but according to reports, he's done for the year. He'll have surgery on the groin. Running back Jonathan Williams, a no-go. Safety C.J. Moore. Your fine right offensive tackle Terrell Crosby will not go, as well as up front defensive lineman Frank Heron. So at the end of the day, there is some good news associated with that. Let's dig deeper, shall we? This NFL Insider is brought to you by Mechanical Contractors Association of Detroit. To Ford Field we go. That's where we find our friend Tim Twentyman, DetroitLions.com. Timmy, how are you today?
Good. How are you gentlemen doing over there?
All right. So far, so good. You just heard the inactives, Timmy. You got them there with you.
Yep.
I think the bright spot, DeAndre Swift, going to be able to go.
Yeah, real bright spot. I think the Lions have missed him the last 3 weeks. And you saw just the last time he was on the field, week 10, how dynamic he was in that win over Washington, right? 149 scrimmage yards, did it on the ground, in the air, and can do it all. And so, look, you're playing the number 1 scoring offense in the league today, the number 2 overall offense. You're going to have to score some points. And so however many weapons that you can have on the field is obviously a good situation for the Detroit Lions today.
Tim, I'll follow that up with this. It'd be great if you could put together some time-producing drives as well to keep that offense off the field. And quite frankly, the defense right now for the Lions, there are some questions to say the very least.
Yeah, obviously they're going to miss Everson Griffin. He was placed on the COVID-19 list on Saturday. I think the good news associated that a little bit, Sean, is that, Austin Bryant and Deshaun Hand are both active, going to play today. They've missed the last couple games. So at least in terms of depth, having bodies that you can go after the passer, you're going to have a couple of those guys back, but they're going to miss Everson Griffin. And I think you're right to your point too. Detroit Lions offense can really help their defense out if they can, like you said, move the football, take some time of possession off the clock, right? Keep it away from Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams, and all those super weapons they got on offense. I think that's a good point by you. I think that's probably got to be one of the strategies here is try to win that time of possession, keep the ball away from them. But, you got to mix in some big plays like we saw last week too. I think that's a recipe for success. So you got to have some balance there. You've got to be able to strike some big plays. They had 11 last week, which is the most they've had in any game this year. So you want some big plays, but you want to hang on to the football too. Darrell Bevell's got to find that right balance.
Speaking to me of Darrell Bevell, 1-0 as a head coach in the National Football League. And one thing is for sure, with all the Zoom calls this week, and we had some Wisconsin participants. Darrell played quarterback at Wisconsin. He was part of this Packers organization. I know for a fact Darrell Bevell is still a rock star, is he not, in the Dairy State?
He's beloved. He's beloved in Wisconsin. He is, certainly. And he talked about that, and he's got fond memories there. He told the story about hunting cougars in southern Utah with Brett Favre and, some of the stories back in his Green Bay days, and then obviously at Wisconsin, the Rose Bowl and everything. You're right. I think this one will mean something to him because, he was part of this organization. And he'll like to keep this thing rolling to 2-0 against a team he's very familiar with, and maybe break some hearts in the state of Wisconsin on the way.
Tim, quickly about Kenny Golladay, are you hearing anything in regards to Kenny? It's not just missing him on the field, it's what this offseason could be as well. I know I'm asking you the impossible, so don't get angry, but are you hearing anything about Kenny?
No, it's hard. When you're in the building, pre-COVID, I'm in the building every day, and you can start to, talk to coaches here and there. You pass by a break room or whatever it is, and it's so much harder this year being at home, doing everything from home. You seem like you're less connected, and it really is a strange situation because the team didn't place him on injured reserve with the designation to return. That would have cost him 3 games, but now we're getting into a month and a half, 2 months now. So either there's a setback that they don't want to talk about, or this injury is just maybe a little bit more severe than they thought. But it certainly is an interesting situation given what you mentioned. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. So could that impact the negotiations? Certainly, but let's not forget too that the Lions also have the franchise tag available to them as well. So if it does get to a situation where they can't work something out, that's always an option as well. So it will be interesting when it comes to Kenny Golladay this offseason. They're obviously a better football team with him on the field, right? He's a dynamic player. He's their best wide receiver. He's a core piece. I think the guys that you talk about wanting to build this franchise around, right? Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker, DeAndre Swift, Kenny Golladay, right? Guys like that. And so I don't think you're a better football team getting rid of your good young players. So it'll be an interesting offseason how this all works out.
Tim, when you look at this Packers team offensively and where they stand in the National Football League, it's rather unreal. Points per game, they are 1. Total offense, they're 2. Rushing offense, tied for 8th. Passing offense, 5th. Rushing
and
offense. It's just crazy. If the Lions have any shot, we already mentioned that Everson Griffin will not be able to go. Defensively, they're going in with some missing components. At the very least, Tim, they're going to need the effort they got in the second half against the Bears last week, and then some.
Yeah, and I think tackling is the big thing with me. When I looked at the first half last week in Chicago versus the second half, it was tackling. Night and day was the difference. And against this team, you've got to be able to tackle. You got to take right angles or proper angles, and you've got to tackle. We saw the week 2 when they didn't take right angles and didn't tackle. You see Aaron Jones running down the field for 75 yards, and they can do that. Devontae Adams is looking for his 8th straight game, guys, with at least 5 catches and a touchdown. And Aaron Jones, we saw what he did, 239 scrimmage yards that first game, week 2. So, look, you've got to tackle. You've got to be really good. These guys will break a tackle, and they'll turn a 5-yard play into 80-yard play, and that's how these games get out of hand. And so that's the key for this Lions defense. Look, they're going to score points. They're going to move the football. That's just what Green Bay does. But don't let them get the big one, the easy one, right? The 80-yard one. Make them drive the football and make them score and make them earn it. Tackle well, take right angles, don't give up the huge plays. I think that's the key for Lions defense today.
All right, Tim, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, anytime.
All right, Tim Twentyman from DetroitLions.com spending time with us. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian, as we continue to count you down. This is Lions Radio.
Not too much congestion out there on the roadways so far this afternoon. The one glaring exception is I-94. Construction work is shutting down all lanes in both directions, eastbound and westbound, between Gratiot Avenue and I-75. That's a weekend-long project scheduled to last until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm Derek Peters, WJR, traffic and weather first.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. It's the holiday season. As you do your shopping, ship your packages, and make plans to celebrate safely, we'll stay on top of COVID-19, the coming vaccines, the lockdowns, the election lawsuits, and the path to inauguration. 2020 has been a hell of a year. End it the right way. Focus on your family and friends and the hope of a new year. Celebrate and enjoy. And keep one ear on 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Sean Baligian here for Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. As a Lion fan, you know Sunday game day is all about tradition. Just because tailgating looks a little different this year, that doesn't mean we have to compromise our special traditions, like enjoying delicious Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. From old world flavor and consistent quality, Wigley's has been a fan favorite since 1924. So when you're planning your next Lions tailgate party, ask the critical question. Is it Wigley's? For more info, go to Wigley's.com. That's Wigley's.com.
Hi, I'm Larry Burns, President and CEO of the Children's Foundation. Our foundation is proud to have granted more funds in 2020 than any other year in our history. To date, nearly $7 million has been invested into the lives of children and families with a focused effort to provide for unexpected needs during the coronavirus pandemic. Because of your generosity, countless families receive crucial support. Please consider the Children's Foundation in your year-end giving. Learn more at yourchildrensfoundation.org.
You know, at Hungry Howie's, get any 2 items from the mix and match menu for just $5.99 each. That's Hungry Howie's. Well, Lions Packers teeing it up at Ford Field. That's about an hour 20 from right now. A little late start, which means there's been plenty of action going on in the football league. Hey, Sean, it looks like Matt Nagy and the Bears are going to break that 6-game losing streak. After all, they're up on the visiting Texans 33-7.
Yeah, what a response. I mean, Steve, as you know, they were kind of on Nagy watch in Chicago earlier this past week, and the strange adventures of Mitchell Trubisky continues. I don't know if you've seen what he's doing today. How about these numbers? 22 of 26, 244 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, wow. You flip a coin. I mean, those are numbers he usually puts up against the Lions.
I was going to say.
That's not even a joke, right? I mean, there are some weeks this guy looks like he shouldn't be in this league, and then he does things like this. So a big response by the Bears this week.
You know, oddly enough, Mike McCarthy, former head coach of the Packers, ironically enough, he's in his first year with the Cowboys, and there has been some speculation as to whether or not Jerry Jones would let him go. Well, right now, the Cowboys on the road in Cincinnati, mediocre club, okay, but the Cowboys with a 27 lead. I can't imagine him getting rid of McCarthy after this COVID season?
I don't think so, but then again, Steve, I mean, let's be
never
brutally honest. Jerry Jones is going to blame everybody but the true villain for what ails the Dallas Cowboys. And the true villain that what ails the Dallas Cowboys is Jerry Jones. So Jerry Jones is going to point the finger in every other direction, trying to place blame for the fact that they haven't been able to win anything in the last 25 years. And I say that with all due respect to our fine producer, Jason Fissler. I mean, Jerry Jones has been their biggest problem. So if that forces people to take a closer look at the makeup of this Dallas Cowboys team, it might be sayonara to Coach McCarthy.
Meanwhile, the New York Football Giants have turned it around a little bit. As a matter of fact, in 5-7, they are tied atop the NFC least with that Washington Football Club. Not going well for the G-men right now. The visiting Cardinals up on them 20-7 right now. But the Giants have been playing improved ball. There is a little light at the end of that NFC East tunnel, isn't there? Huh?
Yeah, and you know what? It was a big surprise last week as well with Colt McCoy. But, Arizona, a team that's fighting for their playoff lives as well. They know that, responding well today, opening up that 20-7 lead. So unless something catastrophic happens, the Cardinals might just improve to 7-6 with about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter there.
There's been a lot of speculation what relationship Tom Brady and Bruce Arians have in Tampa. The Buccaneers, they are a 7-5 ball club. Are they the team that many thought they would be going in? Well, I think they found it to be a little bit more challenging than some people thought. Brady today, though, 12-17, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. Buccaneers with a 23-12 lead over the visiting Vikings. What's your take on the Bucs?
A few weeks ago, they were 6-2, and people were saying, here they go again. And then they've kind of stumbled, Steve, losing 3 out of their last 5. But I'll tell you who's stumbling right now. Vikings just got on the board again, but the Vikings, they have problems. There are a lot of problems with that football team. And, again, Steve, I use this term often. The NFL elevator certainly applies to the Vikings. It just seems like they can't figure out what floor to stay on.
All right, the Broncos up on the Panthers in Carolina, 25-10, moving on. Let's see, the Titans, one of the intriguing teams in the National Football League at 8-4. I like them. They are up on the Jags, 31-10. Will the Jets win a game this year? Doesn't look like they're in line to do it today. They're in Seattle to take on the Seahawks.
After last week, Steve, I still cannot believe the ending of that game, and rightfully so. They fired their defensive coach after that. I don't see it happening. I got to bring this up again. How about Derrick Henry? 17 carries for 170 yards.
Just love watching that dude run.
Oh, my goodness gracious. He hurts people.
Well, I mean, after, you figure 3 quarters and you've been getting the punishment during the course of a game. Do you really want to get your hat in there?
No. Yeah, listen, I'll be the first guy to say you got to get in there and make a play. Okay?
You got to make a play.
But at some point in time, a business decision kind of comes part of the process.
It wasn't all that long ago. Carson Wentz was the toast of the quarterback profession in the National Football League. He was the stereotypical, this is what quarterback should be in this league for the next several years to come. It looks like, for the moment, his run in Philly is over. According to reports, he is going to be benched. Well, he has been benched. It's the Jalen Hurts era now. The Eagles, I'll tell you what, at 5-6-1, they have been a disappointment. And you got to feel for a guy like Carson Wentz, who is a wonderful dude, but you got to win. We've talked about it before.
I loved Jalen Hurts coming out of college. I'm not going to lie, Steve. I still think that this is the type of guy that, much like the Eagles did, if you took a late flyer with him, or a later, I should say, flyer with him, he could pay that off in a big way. He's heard these knocks against him and his size his whole life, and all he's gone out and done is make plays and win football games. So I'm going to be really intrigued to see what Jalen Hurts looks like.
Intriguing matchup tonight, 8:20. It is a darn good game. Bills Mafia hosting the Steelers. The Steelers at 11-1, coming off that unbelievable loss to the Washington Football Club last week. So we shall see. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back with much more, such as our players to watch. Leave it here. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Welcome to Lions football, everybody. And as we begin the home stretch of the 2020 NFL season, I'm pleased to be joined by Ken Dallafor, Executive Vice President and President of Health Plan Business of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Hello, Ken.
Good afternoon, Dan. And I'm looking forward to a great game. And like you said last week, it's the time of the year when the best teams step up.
No question. You know, Blue Cross is certainly an authority on the topic of stepping up. We talked earlier about all the things the company has done and is doing to step up for its members and customers, doctors, hospitals, and our communities during the COVID pandemic.
Our response to the COVID-19 health crisis is reflective of what Blue Cross stands for as Michigan's largest health insurer with a unique social mission. Unfortunately, even though the focus has been on the pandemic, other problems don't just go away. The misuse of narcotics remains a real emergency.
You know, statistically speaking, it's an emergency of epidemic proportions. Close to 200 people die from drug overdoses each day in the U.S., and Michigan is on the high end when it comes to prescribing opioids and opioid-related deaths.
That's correct, Dan, and those deaths are devastating families and communities. That's why Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan is on the forefront of fighting to the end of this epidemic.
I know it's a very tough fight against something that's impacted so many of our lives directly. Is there any good news about progress?
Certainly. Thanks to partnerships with Michigan physicians, Blue Cross has seen a 63% reduction in opioid prescriptions written and 70% fewer of those pills dispensed to our membership. That's a big step in the right direction.
You know, speaking of partnership, I saw that Blue Cross was a major sponsor of the Families Against Narcotics annual fundraiser recently.
That's right, Dan. And for those who don't know, FAN is an organization that does great work throughout the state to support individuals and families impacted by addiction.
Where can Lions fans find out more?
We have a dedicated website at mibluesperspectives.com/opioids101. And there is also a resource guide on bcbsm.com.
Good stuff, Ken. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Now let's go Lions.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. How can I make the most of waiting for my next big vacation?
Translate your questions into goals by investing with Merrill Edge Self-Directed. It's more accessible than you think, with helpful planning tools plus free online stock and ETF trades, so you can keep practicing your pronunciation. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Other fees may apply. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
This is Frank Ragnow of your Detroit Lions, from Holland to Rogers City and everywhere in between. Thank you for listening to the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Pro football recently marked 100 years on the field, but it was 50 years ago that the league settled what some consider their biggest battle.
It's this week's Geico Wow, believe it!
The upstart AFL did its best to take on the big guys, and for much of that decade they did, developing their own stars. Plus, their loyal fans liked the higher scoring action. After some court fights, the idea of merging the two leagues seemed like the best way to make pro football the thriving sport it is today. Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and auto insurance. Having a home is hard work, so get a quote at geico.com. Easy.
For your information, today's players to watch are brought to you by Guernsey Farms Dairy, celebrating 80 years of award-winning dairy products. And just want to thank them for the wonderful cuisine today, a fantastic roast beef sandwich and some beautiful chicken as well. It's just unbelievable. Guernsey, thank you so much. Players to watch, my friend. Who you got your eye on?
I'm not overthinking this, Steve. DeAndre Swift, welcome back. I think we all see the impact this young man has. We're all excited about what the future might be. And a day like today, keep the Packers offense off the field as much as humanly possible. DeAndre Swift.
I am going to go with the young fella that is due to make the start at right tackle for the Detroit Lions. That would be Matt Nelson. Look, Terrell Crosby goes down to injury in the second quarter in that win over the Bears last week. So you got Matt Nelson, who, again, and it bears repeating, 2 years ago, he was a defensive lineman with the Iowa Hawkeyes. And now here he is going to be a starting right tackle in the National Football League. And all he had to do last week was go in and, block the likes of Khalil Mack. And he did a superb job. Now today, Sean, you've got a Packers team everybody talks about what Green Bay's got going on offensively. They have 31 sacks on the defensive side of the ball, led by the Smith brothers. That would include Zadarius Smith. This dude is a load. He's got 10.5 sacks all by his lonesome.
Yeah, and I think you and I combined, it would be great if both of these guys stepped up. I mean, it would bode well for the Lions because I'm not going to mince words here. They're already up against it if they're healthy defensively. What might happen with some of the injuries today, especially going against Aaron Rodgers? This offense has to be on point today, Steve. So I'll co-sign with that. Let's hope both our boys end up showing us how smart we are.
Well, and you know what? Here's the mission one. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers can sling it. Devontae Adams, his great weapon. He's gonna get a lot of TV time today. That's my fear. But also Aaron Jones. Remember when these two teams met last? That was in week 2. Aaron Jones had 236 scrimmage yards, 168 on the ground, 68 receiving, and 3 touchdowns in that week 2 meeting. Let's start here. You got to shut the guy down.
Steve, that 75-yard touchdown run at the start of the second half was just, I mean, it was a dagger. It really was. It looked too easy. And, if people forget, the Packers scored late in that second quarter and you knew the typhoon was coming and boy, it rained and it rained hard. And a big part of that was that electrifying 75-yard run where literally, I can still see it in my head. It was just too easy for the Packers.
Well, and you know what? You could easily make the argument, Sean, that the storm clouds were forming over Matt Patricia's head at that particular point.
Yep, absolutely. The relative ease that the Packers had that day and guys running open downfield, it just was something that I think it stuck out to all of us.
Were you looking for the term amok?
Yes, running amok down the field.
All right, just take a round. We'll take you to Ford Field coming up in just a bit. Get the thoughts of one Dan Miller, Lomas Brown as we continue. This is Lions Radio.
Not too much congestion out there on the roadways so far this afternoon. The one glaring exception is I-94. Construction work is shutting down all lanes in both directions, eastbound and westbound, between Gratiot Avenue and I-75. That's a weekend-long project scheduled to last until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm Derek Peters, WJR, traffic and weather first.
Michigan's anchorman, Paul W. Smith, mornings on News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
The biggest challenge in football is putting a great team on the field. The second biggest is keeping them together. That's the difference with Bill Brown Ford in Livonia, with a winning staff of superstars for over 75 years in every position. From sales to service, whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or certified pre-owned vehicle, their service doesn't end at the sale. It begins there. That's why customers keep coming back to Bill Brown Ford in Livonia. So, who's your Ford dealer?
The best contractors, the best electricians, period. That's what Nika Signatory Contractors and IBEW Local 58 electricians bring to each and every job. Quality work, rooted in consistent and ongoing training. Licensed, competent, safety-minded, productive. From traditional electrical work to the most intricate systems and new technologies. Smart businesses partner with the Nika IBEW team. From traditional electrical to the most intricate new technologies. Connect with us for your next project at poweringmichigansfuture.com.
In a world where only pizza matters, one pizza stands above the rest. Maybe rises is better since it's dough. One pizza rises above the rest. Hungry Howie's. A pizza with more flavor in every bite than any bite in the history of man. A pizza with flavored crust that's so famous for flavor, their motto is famous for flavor. And a meal deal fit for any family starting at just $5.99. Taste it in 4D today.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Dan and Lomas's First Look is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. Indeed, the Green Bay Packers on the scene at Ford Field. And as we begin our conversation with Misters Miller and Brown, one thing is for certain, fellas, and Danny, we'll start with you. It would behoove the Honolulu Blue and Silver with this potent Packer offense to play like they did in the second half against the Bears last week. Anything short of that will be disastrous.
Yeah, no question. I mean, if you play the way that you played in the first half, it's going to be 31 to whatever you can put up, because they were just abysmal in the first half defensively last week against the Bears. The tackling was awful, but to their credit, they got it together in the second half. Those last 4 possessions were key to them winning the game. And they got off the field defensively and had one takeaway on downs and one in terms of a fumble. So there's no question, Steve. That's the template that you have to put together. But you're going from Mitchell Trubisky to Aaron Rodgers.
Good point.
And that is some kind of change. And this guy is playing unbelievable right now.
To follow that up, Lo, I'll throw it to you. I mean, look, the best course of action today would be to get those road graders out there. You got DeAndre Swift back, and try to play some ball control. Put together some nice long drives to maybe keep this offense off the field.
Yes, I think that is what we're going to have to do, Sean. You're going to have to keep Mr. Rogers on the sideline with his cap on. And not just Aaron. I mean, he's the catalyst. He makes that a machine go. But we talk about Aaron Jones. You talk about Adams. They have so many weapons, and he's using all these weapons just fantastically right now. So it's a tough job that the defense has today, trying to slow them up.
Danny, a dramatic come-from-behind win last week in Chicago for interim head coach Darrell Bevell. He is 1-0. Interesting sidebar, he's got the Packers coming in. He played quarterback at Wisconsin. At one time, he was part of this Packers organization. There seems to be a different vibe with the Lions players, whether it be because the meeting times cut short, practice times being cut short. It looks like they're having, dare I say it, fun.
Well, look, there's a couple things there. Number one, winning is fun. And when you win a game, everybody's happy. Number two, and this isn't a slight towards Matt Patricia, but let's face it, Matt Patricia was tough. Darrell Bevell approaches things in a much different way. I'm not saying one's better. I'm just saying one allows you to breathe a little bit more. And then throw in the fact that all these players understood what was happening. They understood the mounting pressure that was growing on Matt Patricia, and that this thing looked like he wasn't going to survive. And then when it finally happens, everybody can just breathe a little bit. So I think it's a good observation, Steve, but I think there's a number of different reasons that that's actually true. And I think it's everything we just talked about. It's finally getting that weight off your shoulders. It's a different approach by a different head coach. It's winning a game. And I just think all that adds up to guys feeling a little bit better. Now, look, if they go out there today and get trucked, it's not going to seem like it's as fun anymore. Right. So it's about how you perform on the field on Sundays. And look, you can be like Matt Patricia and coach like Matt Patricia, but if you don't win, it gets difficult to sustain that. Yep.
All right, fellas. Always appreciate it.
All right, thank you, guys.
I'm sorry, I got to cut you off because our time together is over. I don't want to be rude either.
Kind of mean.
I know.
I'm the least rude person you know.
Okay.
So mean.
I miss you guys.
There'll be a little something extra for you in your Christmas
blink
stocking.
Twice if you're being held against your will.
Oh, this is so much fun. We are about ready to head over there. And, important. It would be nice if the Lions, Sean, compete today. You know what? That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, anything can happen. I mean, it's one of those things, the thing that I was going to ask Lomas is these guys are aware of what's going on. They're looking at the scoreboard. They're paying attention to some other games. But the most important thing, Steve, control what you can control and try to find a W today against the Packers.
All right, coming up, the 5-7 Lions playing host to Aaron Rodgers and the 9-3 Packers. Don't forget, we'll be with you afterwards to discuss it. Hopefully you'll find time for us. Needless to say, this is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Wherever your family calls home, Blue Cross is here for you. By supporting and building healthy communities in every zip code, we're providing a healthier future for all of Michigan. For 81 years, we've kept this promise to help strengthen our neighbors, to stand by their side during the moments they need us most. We're here for it all, and always will be. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit hereforitall.com.
This is Lomas Brown.
BetMGM, the first official sports betting partner of the Detroit Lions, is coming soon to Michigan. But you can sign up right now with a special early registration offer. Open a BetMGM account today, and you'll receive $100 in free sports bets and $100 in free casino bets. It's the best way to be ready for the action the moment BetMGM begins accepting wagers, and there is no deposit required. Enjoy the same excitement you come to expect at MGM Grand Detroit on an easy-to-use, state-of-the-art app. And find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks with the best daily promotions. Plus, play your favorite casino games anytime from anywhere in Michigan. It's almost showtime at BetMGM. Get in on it early by signing up today and get $100 in free sports bets and $100 in free casino bets that you can use as soon as the fun starts at BetMGM.
Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan Disassociated Persons.
Do windows talk? Wallside windows do, especially now during the holidays. They send our greetings, communicate our feelings. For 76 years, the Wallside family has proudly made and installed windows to improve your home and brighten your holidays. Right now, save half off every Wallside window plus 5 years, no interest. If 2021 is the year to make your home more beautiful, schedule your safe at-home or virtual estimate at wallside.com.
The McLaren Proton Therapy Center at the Kermanis Cancer Institute offers the most powerful and precise radiation oncology treatment available. Using the latest generation technology, we're able to deliver high doses of radiation to the exact size and shape of your tumor while avoiding surrounding healthy tissue and organs. That means we can eliminate cancer with an unmatched precision, resulting in fewer side effects and improved outcomes for patients. To learn more, visit mclaren.org/proton therapy.
This is Kenny Galladay of your Detroit Lions. From Toledo to Big Rapids and everywhere in between. Thank you for listening to the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Hi, this is Larry Burns, President and CEO of the Children's Foundation. At the Children's Foundation, we partner with like-minded organizations to support innovative programs that improve the health and well-being of children and families. We listen to the needs of the community, and then we take the lead in developing opportunities to create change through grant-making, fundraising, and advocacy. As you consider your year-end giving, I invite you to join us in our efforts. Learn more at yourchildrensfoundation.org.
Now back to the broadcast booth. Here are the voices of the Lions, Dan Miller and Lomas Brown.
Week 14 of the National Football League, and the Lions are back home with a tough assignment in front of them today as they get set to take on the first-place Green Bay Packers. Lions, winners last week, in come-from-behind fashion, beating the Bears. Lomas Brown, as I welcome you in. This, my friend, is a whole different animal when you start talking about the Packers, who come in at 9-3 and probably playing as well as anybody in the National Football League.
We're
right
talking
now.
about an MVP candidate, real candidate that's coming in here, and Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about Aaron Jones, who could be up for Offensive Player of the Year, one of the guys, and Devontae Adams. Oh, my goodness. That's all I'll say. Oh, my goodness.
So you got to put it together, and everything kind of shifts towards that Lions defense, which was good for the second half of last week's game against Chicago. But you're going to have to be good for 4 quarters today, or else Aaron Rodgers will hang X on you, and X is a lot.
You're right. Not only just good on the defensive side of the ball, but the offensive side of the ball. We're going to have to put drives together and try to keep Aaron and that offense on the sideline.
Yeah, you don't want to have any empty possessions against these guys. Let's get to our Lions Radio Roundtable, brought to you by Ford, built Ford proud. Joining us now from DetroitLions.com, as he does each and every week, Mike O'Hara. Michael, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dan. Good afternoon, Lomas. Congratulations last night on the Florida loss.
I know, man.
Speaking of waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Oh, my God. What's it like when a team from the other side is doing the chop in front of
that's
you?
so embarrassing, too. It was really embarrassing at your home stadium,
When
too.
that other team is LSU.
Yeah.
LSU, yeah. Where did that come from?
Yeah. Well, tough one. Cost you a chance at the college football playoff. But a more immediate concern is what's happening right in front of us here, Michael, and that is the Lions coming off a win over the Bears, trying to keep it going against the Packers. And what do you sense is the vibe coming off that win against Chicago? We were just talking about it. Look, everybody enjoys when you win. It's always fun. But you're going to have to go out there and earn it today.
Oh, absolutely. I think there was probably a sense of relief more than anything else. I don't think it was euphoria or anything like that. I think it was relief. I think they were happy that they gave Darrell Bevels a win in his first game. You get these Hollywood starts, but you want a Hollywood ending. That's what you want. You want just a nice 3 quarters and all that. Okay, we gave it a try and we lost. And so I thought they got a little bit of that. And now, like you say, back to work on Monday, but they're not back to playing with all the guys they want to play with. That to me is a real issue today, especially defensively.
Yeah, you don't want like Hollywood Titanic. You want Hollywood where there's a championship at the end and they're carrying the coach off on somebody's shoulders.
I'll settle for Lassie licking my hand.
Well, that's what we're talking about here is the Lions team getting set to take on the Packers, and they do appear to be getting a boost, at least from injuries. Getting DeAndre Swift back, getting Deshaun Hand back. They're getting a couple guys back that can certainly help them do what they need to do today, and that's get after the quarterback. The downside is you've lost Everson Griffin.
Everson Griffin, who's probably the most effective pass rusher the Detroit Lions have right now. And the 5 games he's played, he's got 2.5 sacks. I think he blocked a kick or a punt or whatever it was. And really, I think he brought an energy and a presence to the front 4, front 3, however they play it, that I don't think they really had on any consistent basis before he got here. Not like he wasn't J.J. Watt at his best or anything like that, but I think he was the best they had. At least he and Romeo Okwara gave you 2 on the outside, 1 on each side to contend with. Now it's a little bit different. Maybe they'll pay more attention to Romeo and make whoever starts at right defensive end of that side that he played, that Everson Griffin played, he's got to prove it.
And Lo, we were just talking about Rodgers. If you don't rush him, he will sit back there all day and wait. He's not in any hurry whatsoever.
Exactly. He just plays so calm, Dan. And I heard our defensive end saying, when you rush him, you have to rush him to keep him in the pocket. You can't rush Aaron and allow him to get outside, because that's when he gets his best vision and he's able to direct those guys and get passes down.
Our old pal Dan Orlowski, who's now working for ESPN, has said this 3 or 4 or 5 times, both when he was doing videos for DetroitLions.com and now it's with ESPN. The nightmare begins when he gets outside the pocket.
That's right.
That's when the nightmare starts. And I agree that, look, I'm standing most eyeball to eyeball here with the 40-yard line. Where was it 5 years ago where he launched that?
Yes.
Remember that? They're just some guys who have. I think they're going to make the playoffs that year if they don't lose that game.
They were right back in the chase if they win that game, which they had won had not been for that.
Yeah. So let's talk about something else.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was awful. It really was. It was probably one of the worst losses.
Certainly one of the worst defensive formations in the history of football.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Let's go on to something else. Okay.
All right. So DeAndre Swift being back.
Absolutely.
That's big for this team because it gives them explosiveness, and we've talked about the fact that you got to control the football.
If things go the way you want to, and I want him with 16 carries and not Adrian Peterson. I want Adrian Peterson near the goal line. What he did the last 2, once he got 4 touchdowns in the last two games and 2 each. But when the Lions had 1st and goal at the 7-yard line, 8-yard line, whatever it was, but that second run from 5 yards, the blockers took care of the beginning, got him going, and then he just ran somebody over on the way to the end zone. It was just, like you said when he talked to the media during the week, pure emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a guy who's got whatever he had. That's his 16th carry then and his 3,000th and something of his career. And on that carry, he played just like he did in 2007, get me to the end zone. I love the way he plays. I really do.
I do too. And I agree with Coach Belleville. He kind of wants to push this ball up the field, Mike. He wants to get these explosive plays in. So he's going to have to work a balance with the run and the pass. Which way do you see them leaning heavier towards, the run or the pass today?
Well, this is not a recording, but I say it all the time. All the good things since 2009 have happened with the Detroit Lions on offense have been mostly through Matthew Stafford's arm. I like when he throws the ball downfield, and I'll take a bad throw once in a while for the pressure he puts on a team. When they absolutely had to have a drive to score and score quickly and have time left on the clock, they went 96 yards in 7 plays last week against Chicago. And after an opening, the first play was an incompletion, 6 for 6 for 96 yards. That's Matthew Stafford. Do it again.
Start the game that today, no doubt about it. Michael, good stuff. We read you on DetroitLions.com today and throughout the week as well.
All right, guys, have a good game.
All right, there he is, Michael Harrod, joining us as he does each and every week. We're counting you down to kickoff. Lions and Packers coming up from Ford Field. We got a lot on the way, so stick with us. Darryl Roberts will put him in the spotlight, along with Matt Nelson, who will be in the spotlight once again out there on that offensive line today. A little bit later, we'll go one-on-one with Darrell Bevell and welcome in our NFL insider, Kyle Mikey. Stay with us. This is Lions Radio.
There is a full construction closure on I-94 in both directions between I-75 and Gratiot Avenue. That is the main source of your roadway troubles so far this afternoon. Right now, that project's scheduled to stick around until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We are seeing delays westbound approaching the closure from Connor Street. Derek Peters, WJR Traffic and Weather first.
Hear every Detroit Lions football game online from your PC or Mac at WJR.com.
It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match.
Never let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match.
760 WJR.
This is Lomas Brown. Did you know 100% pure hyperbaric oxygen can help heal new and old sports injuries like concussions, tears, and overworked muscles faster than traditional therapies? Oxford Recovery Center in Brighton and Troy have been treating Detroit's professional teams, Olympians, high school, and college athletes for over 10 years. They've even treated me, and they can help you too. Call Oxford Recovery Center at 248-486-3636 and learn the many benefits of hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or visit oxfordrecoverycenter.com.
Sean Baligian here for Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. As a Lion fan, you know Sunday game day is all about tradition. Just because tailgating looks a little different this year, that doesn't mean we have to compromise our special traditions, like enjoying delicious Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. From old world flavor and consistent quality, Wigley's has been a fan favorite since 1924. So when you're planning your next Lions tailgate party, ask the critical question. Is it Wigley's? For more info, go to Wigley's.com. That's Wigley's.com.
With a great deal of pride, we welcome you back into the countdown here on Lions Radio. Your Detroit Lions back in the friendly confines of Ford Field, looking to take on those 9-3 Packers. My name is Steve Courtney, and it is time now for a little something we call the Player Spotlight, brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Happy to be spending some time with the sixth-year corner out of the University of Marshall, a.k.a. Thundering Herd. Daryl Roberts joining us now. Daryl, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Let me just say this. As far as college nicknames go, I still say Thundering Herd is one of the coolest in all the land.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. The best tradition around.
There you go. Now you're having a year, as it turns out, Daryl. Taking a look at the numbers, 23 tackles, 1 pick. That coming against the Saints early. That's something to tell the grandkids that you picked off Drew Brees, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely one for the books for sure. For sure. He's a great player. That was one I was proud about.
Then bad news for this 2020 campaign, as if there's not enough of that. You injured your hip against the Colts, that in week 8. Unable to come back until this recent tilt, and what a tilt it was against the Chicago Bears. Timing, as they say, is everything, Daryl. Nice ball game to come back to, sir.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the guys, they were excited. It's a lot of excitement going on around the building. And guys just took the field, and we all just fed off each other and got the W.
You know, Daryl, when you go through a coaching change and GM changes, y'all have, we in the media maybe sometimes have a tendency to embellish this win and what it means to a team. Obviously, Darrell Bevell taking over as the interim head coach. How big inside that Lions locker room was this win over the Bears for Darrell?
It was huge. Every win we got this year was huge. We take the field and we try to put our best foot forward. So anytime we can get a huge win in that fashion, it's always great for the team.
Now going for win number 2 with Darrell Bevell, and there is going to be a challenge. Packers coming into Ford Field, Darrell, a 9-3 ball club. And I'm sure you guys have seen already plenty of film getting ready for the Pack. Let's start with Aaron Rodgers, throwing at a 68.9% clip, 36 touchdowns, 4 picks. Here's a dude that's been doing it so well for so long, Darrell, And one of his trademarks is just taking care of the football.
Yeah, he does a good job. Like you said, he's a veteran. He's seen every look there is. So just for us, I think we just gotta mix it up and just get off the field on third down. And first and foremost, we gotta stop the run. That's the biggest keys I think we need to do to get this W.
Aaron Rodgers' favorite target, no surprise to anyone, Davante Adams, already over 1,000 yards receiving at 1,029, not to mention 13 scores. You certainly get the impression, Daryl, watching the film as you have, that Aaron Rodgers will look for Davante early and often.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. He's definitely their go-to guy, crafty veteran receiver. He can mix it up. He can play outside. He can play inside. Got to have it down. So we just got to keep our eyes on him and take our shots with him and be aggressive with him when we can.
And also, you got to keep an eye and hold Robert Tonyan, their fine tight end, accountable. 8 touchdowns. He's got a yardage average of 12.1 per reception. So, that tight end, obviously coming into the Aaron Rodgers playbook as well.
Yeah, definitely. They do, all their receivers and tight ends, they do a pretty good job of complimenting off Aaron Rodgers. He can extend plays and kind of help guys get open. Even when guys not open, he's a pretty good quarterback, so he can throw guys open. So we just got to plaster and we got to be stickier in coverage. When the routes break down, we got to be stickier in coverage.
Daryl, this 2020 NFL season obviously has been different, to say the very least. You're playing this great game of football in a COVID era. How difficult has it been for you to stay focused, if you will? I know you're in your 6th year, and maybe the fact that you've been around a little longer as opposed to being a 1 or 2 year guy, you just go about your business. How difficult has this year been on you?
Not really. It's not really too much of a difference for me. I still do some of the same things. Just watch film on my spare time, and then probably call the guys and ask them what they see on the film that they've been watching, and we'll probably, like I said, get together and just hang out and talk ball. So it's been pretty much the same for me.
All right, you guys able to get your first win against an NFC North opponent 1 week ago. Let's keep her going against the Pack, Daryl.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
Appreciate your time. All the best moving forward.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you too.
All right, that's Daryl Roberts spending some time with us as we continue to count you down. Yes, indeed, coming up, the Lions playing host to the Green Bay Packers. More information on the way. Make sure you leave it right here. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. A new day full of action and excitement. Come to Soaring Eagle. Indulge to your heart's content. It's a day for winning, for world-class fun and food. Yes, it's a grand, spectacular day to get away. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Hello, Detroit. It's the Ford Motor Company. This city has changed a lot over the last century. So has America. And we wouldn't have been around for this long if we didn't turn that change into progress. We've pledged to make our most iconic vehicles electric, to provide access to North America's largest public charging network, to use 100% renewable energy across all global manufacturing plants by 2035. And we couldn't have done it without the thousands of Detroiters working with us to turn progress into a reality. We're proud to be built for America. We're even prouder to be built by Detroit. And though we've helped give the Motor City its name, the Motor City has given us our legacy. Built for Detroit, built for America, built Ford proud.
Based on IHS Markit CYE 2019 U.S. light vehicle production data. Based on original equipment manufacturers, automotive manufacturers that sell all electric vehicles and have publicly announced charging networks. Department of Energy data used. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via download. Message data rates may apply.
Pro football recently marked 100 years on the field, but it was 50 years ago that the league settled what some consider their biggest battle.
It's this week's Geico Wow, Believe It.
The upstart AFL did its best to take on the big guys, and for much of that decade they did, developing their own stars. Plus, their loyal fans liked the higher scoring action. After some court fights, the idea of merging the two leagues seemed like the best way to make pro football the thriving sport it is today. Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and auto insurance. Having a home is hard work, so get a quote at geico.com. Easy.
The McLaren Proton Therapy Center at the Karmanos Cancer Institute offers the most powerful and precise radiation oncology treatment available. Using the latest generation technology, we're able to deliver high doses of radiation to the exact size and shape of your tumor while avoiding surrounding healthy tissue and organs. That means we can eliminate cancer with an unmatched precision, resulting in fewer side effects and improved outcomes for patients. To learn more, visit mclaren.org/proton therapy.
This is Matt Prater of your Detroit Lions. Tune in right here every week to listen to Lions football on the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Know how to recognize a great company? A dedicated team.
Like me.
And me.
And me.
I started at Wallside 38 years ago.
19 years.
33 years.
30 years.
I'm a supervisor at Wallside Windows, and I've been here for 7 years.
Of course, you don't last at Wallside.
If you don't do things the right way, the Wallside way.
The Wallside way.
We build windows that last.
And last.
Just like me.
And me. Just like us.
Call 1-800-521-7800.
Welcome back. This is Lomas Brown here with Matt Nelson, our finest, second year. How are you today, Matt?
I'm doing great. How are you, Lomas?
I'm doing good. Hey, let's start it off, man. You had a welcome to the NFL moment, man. Just tell me, how was it when you got in the game, and how was it facing Khalil Mack?
It was pretty nerve-wracking at first. It was definitely a welcome to the NFL sort of situation. Kind of had to take a deep breath and remind myself it's just football, and just go out and play.
So, what's the difference this week, Matt, with running with the number ones, preparing to start?
It's just faster. Like, everything's faster, and more you move up. Definitely last week was a big confidence boost. So I feel like I got to play fast and play loose this week. So it's just kind of like honing in on the little details of the game plan, and it's just football to me now.
I've been really impressed with the O-line this year, especially all the moving parts. But when the moving parts have come in, you guys still seem to be really cohesive. How's it been playing next to some of the guys on the offensive line?
It's been great. I mean, especially from the top down, starting with Hank and Billy, our O-line coaches. It's been pretty much been like a next man in sort of mentality. When somebody goes down, it's expected, and everybody is ready to go. And Hank treats us all like we're going to play every week. So he stresses on the little things and makes sure nobody falters when they come in. And it's been great learning from like Taylor and Frank and O'Day and all the vets of the O-line room. I mean, it's just kind of like picking up on the little things from them, and it's been awesome.
So what about the challenges that you guys are facing up front, facing this Green Bay front seven, especially the Smith brothers?
I mean, they're just loaded across the front. They got the Smith brothers. They got Kenny Clark in the middle. I mean, the Northwestern twins as well. I mean, they're just loaded up front. So they got a lot of talent, and everyone's going to have big matchups across the board. And
they seem to be playing fast. Matt, I think the most amazing thing to me is that, man, you converted from the D line. I mean, it's just amazing to me how you just seem to have picked up on the offensive line. I know it's a lot of little things about playing the offensive line, but how has this transition been for you?
It's kind of tested my patience some days, and I mean, there's some days that are better than others, but it's just kind of like a steady grind. You just got to focus on the little things, and I mean, I got to fall back on what I've learned throughout the years of just playing football and leaning on the vets and the coaches that know what they're doing and trust in the training, and just listen and being open to adapt and change. And so just kind of stressing the little things every day, learning from Hank especially, and just kind of watching the vets to pick up on little fundamentals. And that was the biggest adjustment, was the fundamentals. It was the staying balanced and back and under insteps and all that sort of stuff, versus on the D line, which you're on your toes attacking all the time. So it was learning all those little things that was the biggest adjustment. And there's some days that it's just like you just want to reach out and grab. It's those D line instincts in me that I got to kind of work out and make O-line second nature. So it's been a process, but I'm still learning, still grateful to be here to learn and keep growing as a player. Yeah, that was a great answer, because you're right, man. We have to have that controlled aggression, whether when you was on that D line, you could just let that aggression go. That was a great answer. And I know, man, I know you want to be a team doctor after your career, huh? Yeah, I've always had medicine as my number one interest in life. Always was a science kid, always building things, always just interested about the world. So I kind of fell in love with medicine, and being around athletics is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so best way I thought to combine the two was being a sports doc. And if I could be like a team orthopedic surgeon, like that's really my dream job. And I would like to stay in the NFL as long as I possibly can and put that dream off for a little bit. But I've always been interested in being a surgeon and all that sort of stuff. So it's been awesome to be around some of the great doctors like Dr. Wolf at Iowa and all the team physicians around here. It's been great to just kind of sit back and watch them work.
Yeah, well, hey, when you become my age, the tender age of 57, that might come in handy, you being a team doctor. You could cure some of your own ailments because there might be a few of them when you get a little older.
Oh, yeah, there's always nicks and bruises.
You're right. It is going to be that. I know, Matt, this is a huge, huge week in the NFL. My Cause, My Cleat campaign going on. And can you talk to me a little bit about I Know Jack Foundation? I know it sounds like it's very personal to you, and I know they'll be representing you on your cleat. Can you talk about the Jack Pack? Can you talk about that for me?
Yeah, so I Know Jack is a organization that's from my hometown of Cedar Rapids. Me and my wife have been blessed to know Jack and his family, the Hagers, and he battled and beat a super rare form of brain cancer. He's one of the few kids in the world that has done that, and he has since gone on and graduated high school and done all amazing things in life. And his family, throughout all the cancer treatments and everything like that, they realized, okay, we need this, we need that, and they created what they call the Jack Packs, and their backpacks full of like hand sanitizer, lotion, books, blankets, and all the sort of little things that you might forget when you're staying in the hospital with your kid. So being able to give back to an organization that me and my wife are both very close to and know the people has been a truly great blessing for us.
That's awesome, man. You know, I hope you have tremendous health this year, Matt. Keep doing what you're doing out there on the field, and good luck to you guys. I'd say the season has just started to me, so you guys are 1-0, man. So I hope you guys get to 2-0 this week.
All right. Thank you, Lomas.
Take care. This is Lions Radio.
Well, the only unwelcome surprise on your roadways right now, that full construction closure of I-94 in both directions between I-75 and Gratiot Avenue. Westbound lanes of I-94, that's still packing in, approaching the closure from about Connor Street as well. Other than that, your roadways are looking good. Derek Peters, WJR Traffic and Weather first.
The experience to make sense of the news that breaks daily. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
The biggest challenge in football is putting a great team on the field. The second biggest is keeping them together. That's the difference with Bill Brown Ford in Livonia, with a winning staff of superstars for over 75 years in every position. From sales to service, whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or certified pre-owned vehicle, their service doesn't end at the sale. It begins there. That's why customers keep coming back to Bill Brown Ford in Livonia. So, who's your Ford dealer?
Hi, this is Larry Burns, President and CEO of the Children's Foundation. At the Children's Foundation, we partner with like-minded organizations to support innovative programs that improve the health and well-being of children and families. We listen to the needs of the community, and then we take the lead in developing opportunities to create change through grant-making, fundraising, and advocacy. As you consider your year-end giving, I invite you to join us in our efforts. Learn more at yourchildrensfoundation.org.
From cookouts in summer to the depths of winter, natural gas is your safe, reliable, affordable energy source. Because DTE buys gas in the summer when prices are low and stores it to keep prices affordable. And we upgrade and monitor the system 24/7, 365. So for all you do, natural gas is there for you. Learn more at dteenergy.com. DTE.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are joined now by Lions interim head coach Darrell Bevell as they get set to go against the Packers. This brought to you by DTE Energy. Coach, let me start off the field for just a second. Trey Flowers this week nominated as your Walter Payton Man of the Year. That is one of the most prestigious honors in the National Football League. And I know as an organization, as a coach, you have to be proud of him and what that represents.
Yeah, very proud of Trey and what he was able to accomplish for us as a team. To be that guy out front and center in front of the front of the community and the things that he does in his home community, but as well as the community here in Detroit. A leader on our team, one that really stepped forward in the time during the spring when we had all the social injustice that was really at a high level, and in continuing the conversation even now. And he's a great man and a great deserving candidate for that award.
Hey, Coach, week 2 for you in this role. You kind of made the point earlier this week. You're not doing anything for the first time anymore. So I imagine this week, comfort level for everybody up, and probably just a sense of normalcy's come over you a little bit more this week.
Yeah, a little bit. You kind of get to settle into just some of the routines that we have. Try to stay on a routine each and every week. Obviously, a little bit game time, different time this week, so there's a little bit adjusting in the schedule. But familiar at least. Not going through everything for the first time. Players know the practice schedule. They know how it's going to flow. They know how the meetings are going to flow. So felt good this week.
Just to give people kind of an idea of how it works, I think that's one of the great things about the NFL is that's the repetition every week. Guys know where they're going to be day to day, and you really to become that creature of habit because it's so repetitious, but in a good way.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, we try to keep the schedule as consistent as we can, so they know where they're supposed to be and be there when they're supposed to be there. Our guys have done a great job of adjusting. I'm a firm believer. These are grown men. They have the schedule. You know how it is in this building. It's posted everywhere. So we don't need to go into team meetings to spend time talking about the schedule, where they're going to be. They get used to it. They adjust to it, and we're doing fine.
You followed Aaron Rodgers for a long time. Just 37 years old, 36 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. It's hard to fathom, but that tape does not lie. He's really having a terrific year.
Yeah, I mean, wow is the first thing. He makes it look so easy. I mean, it makes it look like he's playing a video game out there. He's got great protection around him, number one. Guys can't get to him. And then he has such a quick release. He's got great feet to be able to move in the pocket, create space for himself. He's got a great cadence. He gets extra plays down the field, if you're not really on it. So again, he's playing at an outstanding level.
He's so good in the pocket, and he's so good at feeling pressure. What's the biggest key when you try to get after a quarterback like that?
Yeah, I mean, that. I mean, you have to be conscious of the abilities that he has, and he's one of those guys that does a great job of creating space within the pocket. He has the subtle moves, but if you get out of your rush lanes, he can really make you hurt because he can move outside the pocket and make a big play as a thrower. But obviously, he's got good enough legs that he can go and run for a first down or even more.
They got Devontae Adams. They got Aaron Jones. They got guys that can hurt you at different positions and skill positions. But just a thought back to last week, in particular, the way you ended that game, 4 straight possessions. They don't score. You're getting the ball back consistently. What are some of the things you saw your defense do over the final quarter of that game that you'd like to see him carry forward into this one?
Well, I think they, made some of those subtle adjustments that they needed to make. I think they just kept playing, Dan, as we talk about, just keep playing ball. Don't worry about the last play, what happened. Just keep playing, and then make your plays when you get an opportunity to make plays. We've got to do a great job in tackling. Got to do a great job in coverage. And then all that will work together. I think, that my belief is we'll like the results at the end. If we continue to keep playing, don't look up the scoreboard, don't judge the game. We're down 10 points. There's only 4 minutes to go. You just keep playing. And then, you saw what happened.
Defensively, Zadarius Smith is a guy you got to account for. He's a double-digit sack guy, but there are plenty of others that can make plays on the Packer defense as well.
Yeah, I mean, just a problem up front, for us. We're going to have, again, we got Matt Nelson that's going to be playing right tackle for us. So as you look at across the front, I mean, Zadarius, creates a lot of problems. You got Preston Smith on the other side, Kiki on the inside. You got Gary off the outside as well. I mean, they have a number of players that can individually win one-on-one matchups. So it's a huge challenge for our offensive line this week.
Hey, week 2, as we said a moment ago, your message to the players the same as to how you want to see them approach this game. Play loose, do your job, play easy, and just keep rolling.
Yeah, this pretty much the same message. A little bit this week, a little more messaging was just we're on our details this week. Those are the things that can get us, and as long as we continue to focus on those, we have to be on our stuff.
Coach, good stuff. Good luck out there. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
There it is, Lions interim head coach Darrell Bevell as they get set to go. We'll pause 10 seconds for our network stations to identify themselves. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network. We're counting it out at kickoff. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Know how to recognize a great company? A dedicated team.
Like me.
And me.
And me.
I started at Wallside 38 years ago.
19 years.
33 years.
30 years.
I'm a supervisor at Wallside Windows, and I've been here for 7 years.
Of course, you don't last at Wallside.
If you don't do things the right way, the Wallside way.
The Wallside way.
We build windows that last.
And last.
Just like me.
And me.
Just like us.
Call 1-800-521-7800.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. A new day full of action and excitement. Come to Soaring Eagle. Indulge to your heart's content. It's a day for winning, for world-class fun and food. Yes, it's a grand, spectacular day to get away. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Whether it's 2 a.m. on the weekend or you just need a second opinion, Blue Cross is here with more ways to help you access the care you need. You can call our 24-hour nurse line with any questions during those early mornings or schedule a virtual doctor visit to get that second opinion. Anytime, anywhere, we are here for it all and always will be. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit hereforitall.com.
Hey, it's your homie. Sorry, it's your home. I know you don't like it when I call myself your homie. So I have some favors to ask you. Could you get rid of a few chairs in the living room? My floorboards are tired. Another easy thing, we could save money if you bundled your home and car insurance with Geico. One more thing. I know you love lavender-scented candles, but could we try Tahitian vanilla? I think it would fit my vibe better.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
In a world where only pizza matters, one pizza stands above the rest. Maybe rises is better since it's dough. One pizza rises above the rest. Hungry Howie's. A pizza with more flavor in every bite than any bite in the history of man. A pizza with flavored crust that's so famous for flavor, their motto is famous for flavor. And a meal deal fit for any family starting at just $5.99. Taste it in 4D today.
Hungry
Howie's.
This is Matthew Stafford of your Detroit Lions, from Flint to Houghton and everywhere in between. Thank you for listening to the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
The McLaren Proton Therapy Center at the Kermanis Cancer Institute offers the most powerful and precise radiation oncology treatment available. Using the latest generation technology, we're able to deliver high doses of radiation to the exact size and shape of your tumor while avoiding surrounding healthy tissue and organs. That means we can eliminate cancer with an unmatched precision, resulting in fewer side effects and improved outcomes for patients. To learn more, visit mclaren.org/proton therapy.
Welcome back, everybody. We're at Ford Field counting down as the Lions get set to take on the Packers. Time now for our NFL Insider, brought to you by Merrill Edge Self-Directed. Kyle Meinke from MLive.com joins us. Kyle, good afternoon.
What's up, fellas?
Good to see you.
Good to be here.
So you're kind of busy these days because you're covering a football team, but you're also kind of keeping your eye out for a general manager and a head coach search. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. Sitting in my apartment in quarantine, me and my cat, and then I just feel like it's just like every single day something new happens, and you're going to see it going forward too, Dan. Just with the coaching search, the GM search. We already saw it this week with 3 internal candidates who have applied for the GM or interviewed for the GM job.
Do you have any sense, A, how the search is being conducted, B, parameters? Do they want experience? Is that not a necessary quality? Do you get any sense of that yet?
I think Sheila Ford Hamp and Rod Wood are running the show right now. And I think, obviously they're getting insight from football people inside the building, but it's my understanding those people are leading the search. And I have no idea what they're looking for, Dan. Yeah. I really don't. I mean, it's been on lockdown information-wise coming down to Allen Park for a while now. So I don't know. I suspect they'll want to find someone with experience, but you never know.
It's interesting because it feels like it kind of drags on a little bit, but the fact is a lot of these things don't heat up till the season's over. We just happen to have a situation where there's 5 weeks left in the season.
to kind of talk about this and begin to have it marinate for us. And that I'm sure for somebody in your business, that's not the greatest thing in the world.
It's better than writing about losing football, I'll tell you that. And they played well last week against in Chicago. They did. I mean, they bounced back though. And that's something they didn't do a lot under the previous guy. So you have to give them credit. And I know Chicago was beat up, but have you seen what Chicago's doing today? They're doing all right.
Yeah.
And so you have to give them credit for making the adjustments they had to, making the plays down the stretch to win a game they really hadn't for a couple of years.
Yeah, Kyle, looked like a totally different team, like Dan said in the second half of the Chicago game. Do you think Coach Bevel could muddle this up? Do you think he could make this decision a little muddy?
Well, that's the $1 million question, I think. And I think he's not getting enough credibility, maybe that out there publicly in terms of him being a head coaching candidate. He's players like playing for this guy, and I think that's something this team needs after the previous couple of years. And you can see with the way they've already responded, Lomas, the same guys who are playing better than they were previously. And I don't know. I mean, they're going to, Robert Saleh is a hot name out there with connections to the area. Eric Bieniemy and down in Kansas City, he's going to be one of the hottest candidates in this hiring cycle. But Darrell Bevell has an opportunity, which those two guys don't. And that's one, I think, advantage that he has in this process is he's going to go out there in these next 4 weeks against teams currently in the playoff field. If you go 4-0, 3-1, if you play yourself into that mix for the playoffs, I think you have to consider him as a viable option.
Yeah, and not to get too far in the weeds, because I do want to talk about this game in just a second. But to me, Kyle, and yes, Bevel, I think, should be considered. And he's got an audition here, as he said. And Salah, it's amazing how many people I've talked to that have just sung his praises. But all that being said, Kyle, I'm so honed in on that general manager.
Yeah.
Because to me, that is everything. We've seen teams try to compete without the requisite talent to do so. That's where, in my opinion, it's got to change here.
And we've seen that in Detroit too, Dan. I mean, you look at that defense, and I'm not taking anything away from the guys who are out there, but there's a talent deficiency when you compare it to other defenses that are out there not making enough plays. And you've got guys who are playing well out there. Romeo Okwara, what he's done this year, he's made himself a lot of money by playing really well. Everson Griffin, since he came in, I mean, that was a move made by Bob Quinn. But there weren't enough moves like that over the years, and you've got huge talent deficiencies.
You're lacking alphas,
especially in the front seven, Dan. Especially in the front seven. We'll see what happens with Jeff Okudah. Tough rookie year for him, but he's just a rookie. He's got some time to pan out. We'll see what happens there. But I think in the front seven, there's just a lack of playmakers, and we're seeing it every week. And I'm fearful of what we're going to see today against Aaron Rodgers with no Everson Griffin and what that could mean for the Lions defense.
A little bit scary, no doubt about it. Let's get to our keys to the game as you look at this one and kind of break it down, which I know you've done on MLive.com. Just give me something you're looking for early in the game that might indicate how things are going.
I'm looking at Matt Nelson at right tackle, with no Tyrell Crosby, and he's got a guy in Zadarius Smith across from him, 10.5 sacks this year, Dan. He's all right. He's doing all right this year. Matt Stafford needs time, obviously, to make the plays that we saw him making last week. Without it, with Matt Nelson not playing well, that would be a huge issue, obviously, for the offense.
Yeah, I'm looking at Dan stealing possessions. Some kind of way we're gonna have to steal possessions from Green Bay. Either turnovers, they give us turnovers or something, but we're going to have to steal possessions, limit their possessions, and really kind of keep that ball moving and keep them on the sideline.
Yeah, I think the thing you don't want to have today, if you're Matthew Stafford, are empty possessions.
Yes.
Because every time you give it back to Green Bay, you could get it back 2 scores down. I mean, look, we've talked about the deficiencies on the defense and the problems they have. Okay, that might mean your offense has to score 35.
Yes.
Absolutely. We saw that last week, too, against Chicago.
Yeah.
Green Bay's offense is a little bit better. So I think that, to maintain pace there, I mean, in the first meeting back in week 2, Dan, we saw that. They started hot. The Lions took a double-digit lead. Then they got hit in the face going forward, and especially that turnaround halftime. At the end of part of the second quarter, coming out in the third quarter, they just put too much distance between themselves and the Lions for the Lions to come back, and that's something that obviously they can't afford today. Down so many guys.
Kyle, good stuff, my friend. We will read you on MLive.com and look forward to the season and the off season and everything that you've got going. I know you got a lot in front of you right now.
No
we
worries.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, always love joining you guys. Always a good time.
Appreciate it. There he is, Kyle Meinke, who joins us right there. And like I said, he'll be covering this team and what's going on the field. And there's obviously a lot happening off the field as well. So keep up with things. MLive.com. We'll take a break, come right back. Starting lineups on the way. We're counting you down to kickoff. Lions and Packers coming up from Ford Field. This is Lions Radio.
Construction work, a major factor this afternoon. All lanes of I-94 shut down in both directions between Gratiot Avenue and I-75 for weekend-long roadwork projects scheduled to last until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Westbound lanes of 94 jamming up approaching the closure from Connor Street. I'm Derek Peters, WJR Traffic and Weather first.
The Lions pounce into Music City to take on the Tennessee Titans next Sunday at 1 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
The biggest challenge in football is putting a great team on the field. The second biggest is keeping them together. That's the difference with Bill Brown Ford in Livonia, with a winning staff of superstars for over 75 years in every position. From sales to service, whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or certified pre-owned vehicle, their service doesn't end at the sale. It begins there. That's why customers keep coming back to Bill Brown Ford in Livonia. So, who's your Ford dealer?
Celebrate 80 years with the family of Guernsey Farms Dairy this football season. Pick up the Guernsey Farms Dairy award-winning milk, ice cream, lemonade, and other dairy products at your local grocer, or visit their newly remodeled store and restaurant in Northville.
That's the Guernsey difference.
Rinaldi Sausage has been making Michigan's best fresh sausage products for almost 40 years. No nitrates, glutens, or MSG, and never frozen. Check out RinaldiSausage.com for a local grocer near you and great recipe tips. Rinaldi Sausage, your link to good food and good times.
DTE believes that leaders do what's right, not what's easy. So we're building the largest wind and solar installations in the state and using cleaner natural gas. And over the next 10 years, we'll triple renewables and cut carbon emissions in half. We're committed to a future where affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. Learn more at dtecleanenergy.com. DTE.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Today's Inactive List is brought to you by Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins for the Lions. David Blau inactive, and it gets a little bit worse. Kenny Galladay, Jeff Okudah, Jonathan Williams, backup running back, C.J. Moore, big special teams player, Tyrell Crosby starting right tackle, and Frank Herron, depth guy on the defensive line. Those are some guys that are key, in particular when you start looking at Galladay on there, Okudah providing some depth at corner, Crosby on the offensive line.
Yeah, and then we know how different this offense has been without Kenny Galladay in there. Guys have been stepping up, but, man, he makes a big difference in how the defense looks at our offense. So that's a big miss for us today, not having Kenny.
All right, let's get to the starting lineups, which are brought to you by Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. Remember to ask, is it Wigley's? Starting for the Lions today, let's start with that offense. We talked about some of the things that are missing. Mohamed Sanu will step in for Kenny Galladay along with Quintez Cephas. Offensive line, you got Taylor Decker at left tackle. You'll have Matt Nelson in for Crosby at right tackle. Jonah Jackson at one guard, Ode Abushi at the other, Frank Ragnow at center. All right, Green Bay has had a week to look at Matt Nelson, who's a converted defensive lineman who did a terrific job against Khalil Mack last week.
Yes.
What are they going to throw at him today?
Well, the good thing is Hank Fairley knows the capability of Matt Nelson. So look for the line to slide over that way. I know Green Bay want to try to take advantage of that one-on-one matchup, but I think he's going to have the guard or maybe even have a tight end stay over there and help Matt out.
Taylor Decker, as we said, will be the left tackle. On the other side, T.J. Hawkinson, the tight end. Danny Amendola, Marvin Jones round out the wide receivers. Matthew Stafford, the quarterback. DeAndre Swift back at running back. Yes. That's the lightning back in your lineup.
Yes, it is, Dan. He presents so many problems to the defense, running the ball, catching the ball. So he is a talented young man, and we're glad to have him back today.
For the Lions, the defensive line, you got Everson Griffin, who is out today. Deshaun Hand will start, we would assume, at one of the defensive end spots. Nick Williams, John Pennicini in the middle, Romeo Okwara on the ends. Look, you got to find some way to get some pressure on Aaron Rodgers. You'd like to be able to do it with that front four, but remember, you got to contain him because when he's off schedule, he's as dangerous as ever.
It's the right type of pressure that you have to get on him, like you're saying. You can't let that guy get outside get outside contained on you.
Christian Jones, Reggie Ragland, Jamie Collins, those are going to be your linebackers. And look, they got to be sure what they're tackling today. If Jones gets through this second level, you got to make sure he doesn't get beyond that.
Absolutely, Dan. That's the one thing we're watching is how we tackle. Guys have to make the one-on-one tackles when they get the opportunity.
You know, you and I were talking as we get to the cornerbacks, and Monty Oruwariye is a guy. If you're looking at the Lions this year, what you're trying to find is, okay, still got a shot at the playoffs, but let's be realistic. What you're also looking for are guys that have shown I can be part of the solution going forward.
That's right.
Amani Oruwariye is showing that he can be one of those guys.
Without a doubt, Dan. He has played very well this year, especially stepping in, not knowing if he's going to be a starter with Jeff going back and forth. So I think he's probably been our most consistent defensive back in the secondary.
Justin Coleman probably at the other corner today. They will shift guys in and out. We'll see a number of safeties, Tracy Walker, Duron Harmon, J-Ron Kirsch, Will Harris. They'll all play. Devontae Adams can beat you anywhere on the field, and you got to be ready for him.
Man, that guy there, man, and they line it up everywhere. That's the thing that they're going to have to be aware of is where is Devontae Adams on each and every play.
We're getting you ready for it. It is the Lions and the Packers coming up. These two met a little bit earlier this year. Packers won that one by a score of 42-21. Lions back home today. No, they don't have 65,000 fans, but they've got the comfort of Ford Field. Can they make that work for them against the NFC North leaders? We'll find out when we come back with the opening kickoff. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
There are other automakers in Detroit, but there's only one that's built for Detroit. Ford, the motor company